Good. Welcome. You guys are still muted, thank goodness, because they're singing the iCarly theme song behind the scenes. Welcome everyone to the NASCAR Weekly Podcast live on my channel this week. It's been about a month or so since I think like the second episode of the season, but we're back. We're back and better than ever, just in time for Bristol Dirt and just in time to react to not one but two Cup Series races this week. We're going to talk all things Atlanta. We'll talk about Ryan Blaney's big win over Kyle Larson in the closing stretch. We're going to talk about the Bristol Dirt iRacing event last night. The Pro Invitational is back. And of course, we'll preview the real world Bristol Dirt race, a historic event, the first Cup race on a dirt track in more than 50 years. I am joined, as always, by Jarrett Lundberg, aka The Iceberg on YouTube. We've got Darian Gilliam down here, Black Flags Matter. And then we've got Danny B from Danny B Talks. Very excited to be with all of you tonight. We're going to be covering a whole lot of stuff. So let's just dive right into it. Since I'm hosting, I get to pick what goes first. I guess I'm just going to go in chronological order. Atlanta. Let's talk about Cup before we get to Xfinity, because Xfinity was where most of the drama was. Let's talk Cup for a second. Ryan Blaney gets his first win of the season. Jarrett, I'll start with you. What was your takeaway from the first Atlanta race of the season? I said first. There's two this year now. Ooh.
Yes. I honestly, a lot of people hate this race. I did not really hate it that much. A lot of people were, have always been like, I want the 90s back. And it's like, I want to have 90s style racing back. And it's like
that was 90s. That was 90s.
That is Atlanta's 90s style race. There's always somebody who's going to be dominant up there. And then at the end, it's the rubber band effect with the track, and the cars all come back together. I liked it. I mean, I put it like a 6 out of 10. It wasn't horrible in my opinion. It wasn't like an all-time great, but it was good. Blaney, I mean, granted, I think he might have had a little bit of help from Pagano. So I can't say he did it all himself, but I mean, he put himself in the position to win, and lucky breaks happened to come and fall into his lap, and he took advantage of it. But no, I liked it. I was actually very intrigued, and I kind of wish they didn't have the stage cautions for this reason. I was so intrigued if Larson could lap the field. I was really wondering what he was 13 seconds ahead, and I'm like, man, if this thing goes green, if it went green all the way, he could lap the field. I mean,
after stage one, there were only like 19, 20 cars on the lead lap. After stage one, I was like, holy crap, that was crazy.
Long story short, I liked it. I liked the race.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say, all the talk with Blaney nowadays is now he's like apparently overrated. I don't know why. I mean, like there's a lot of guys who, didn't necessarily win a lot of races throughout their careers. For example, the Labonte brothers come to mind immediately. They didn't win like a whole bunch of races, still in the low 20s.
But they're both in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan Blaney just comes off as that type of driver to me. 5 wins in 5 seasons. Like, yeah, I mean, like that's not like a whole lot in 5 years, but I mean, 1 win for each season, and he's made the playoffs, every year for Penske. He's a good driver. I don't know. I don't know when he'll win more though. That's just the thing.
It's still too early too. I mean, Martin Truex Jr. got 3 wins in 8 years before he finally started coming into his own in 2016, and he became a champion. So
yeah, exactly. You never know. And the whole Larson deal, that 5 team over at Hendrick Motorsports have some type of intermediate program set up now, like that's in a class of their own. And I feel like that team specifically might have always had this, but Larson is just like, possibly just like taking it, to the limits at this point, I guess. So
yeah, I think it's, we're seeing it's pretty clear. Like Hendrick in general seems to have good mile and a half speed, because we've seen Larson get a win. We've seen Byron get a win. We saw Bowman come in 3rd this weekend. So they're all kind of coming into, running pretty good now.
Yeah, and I just love the way Fox trolled the Chase Elliott fans, by the way. That was awesome. That was awesome.
The compilation of sad Elliott fans when he blew it.
They're like, look at all the fans. Oh no. Like, yeah.
I'm sorry, that was my highlight of the race right there. I feel again, if you're a Chase Elliott fan, don't take it personal. It's just so damn funny.
It's funny.
I was just impressed these camera guys miss so many wrecks these days, but they were able to bang, 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 find like 20
like
sad Chase Elliott fans in a row. I was very impressed. Where's Waldo? Those guys quick.
They do a good job of finding people. I remember the 2018 Coke 600. They caught me when they were going to commercial break at one point.
Were you did Bowman just blow up or something, or what was?
No, they just got me as I was like just watching it go by or something like that.
The NASCAR fan in his element.
I was just looking off into the sunset, but they got me.
That's poetic. That's gorgeous right there. Well, Blaney's win, that makes it 6 different winners now in 6 races.
Yes.
Do you guys think, I mean, we'll talk about Bristol in a second, but how far do you think this streak will go? I believe this is, what was it, 10 in a row in 2000 or 2001?
Yeah, I was just about to say, so the 6 winners this year marks, that matches the mark we had in 2014. To open up the season as well. And yes, in 2000, we opened up the season with 10 straight winners. And the guy who broke that streak was actually Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Richmond that year, his rookie season. So I don't know if we'll necessarily break that record, but I could see it going up as high as maybe, 7, 8 different winners, perhaps. You never know. But, in my heart, though, I would love to see 11 different winners. Because right then, that would officially make this the best season ever, just off of that alone.
Well,
26, baby.
We've got a good chance, I think, this weekend to see a repeat winner, because I think both Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson can contend for it. But we've also got a lot more guys who I think could also throw their name into that there. We've got only 10 playoff spots remaining. Remember that. And we're only 6 races in. There's 20 races remaining, 10 more playoff spots. But out of all the guys who are in there right now, we are still lacking guys that we know should get a win, like Chase Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch. That's Absolutely. 4 right there alone. So that would fill up 10 spots right there.
Blaney was the first Penske car to win a race this year as
well.
Logano
and Keselowski.
Throw in those two. That's another 6. That'd be 12. If you throw in a guy like a Bowman, someone like that, we could easily fill up these 16 spots real quick.
Absolutely. And then I was looking up, what happens if we do end up with, say, 17 different winners? I saw, I think it was Bob Pockers clarified that even if somehow, the regular season champion goes winless, they still would nab a spot. They'd lock in. So that would potentially bump 1 or 2 winners out. But it's early to say. I think there's a great chance we end up at 14, 15, 16 winners. I don't know if we'll cross that 16-win threshold. But, all I know is that drivers that coming into the season, we're going to be on that bubble, like the Matt DiBenedettos, Bubba Wallace, Chastain, that kind of group of drivers. All I know is they got to be a little nervous right now. They got to be throwing all their eggs at the "we must win" basket, even though we're only just a few weeks into the season.
I think it's possible the regular season champion could have just 3 wins this year.
I think personally, I think we're going to see a lot of people who, more or less, a lot of will say will deserve to be in, not make it, because I think we're going to have a ton of winners, and I am just going to be sitting back and wondering and kind of just watching as an observer of all the people who are happy when McDowell won the 500, then getting pissed at him for taking up a deserving spot in the playoffs. I'm looking forward to that, because I think we're going to get to that 14, 15 range. I don't know about 16 yet, but there's going to be a driver who's probably going to be 6th, 7th in points winless that isn't going to make the playoffs this year, I think, at this rate. And I can't wait to see it.
Kurt Busch would be that guy, a guy who's always 8th in points but doesn't always win.
Oh yeah, Kurt Busch. Yeah, Kurt Busch on Sunday. Dude, chill. Bro, chill. It's a 500. It's a 500-mile event, bro.
Yeah, got turned by Hamlin. I love their Twitter exchange this week. Did y'all see it? I think it was Hamlin was joking that Kyle Busch is always late to meetings, so Kyle Busch got to the meeting early and then asked where Hamlin was, and Hamlin said he was buying.
I'm gonna be honest. I got very excited for a second because I thought that was some next gen car news, Toyota related at first, but then I was like, oh no, it's just a driver's meeting.
It had a big Toyota thing and bright lights. He thought it was some kind of
that's a fancy that's a fancy driver's meeting. Yeah, fancy conference room for their driver's meeting.
They got a good at Toyota.
No expense. But no, I still have to ask the question to you guys. I know I said it in our private chat and on Twitter, but I'm like, man, what would it be like having today's Kurt Busch talk to 2012 Kurt Busch? I mean, I would love it.
It would be, oh, no, I got it. I'll mute myself. Hold on. It would be, he would just yell at him straight up, bro. I mean, dude, just but that just goes to show that, Kurt Busch, that's the power of, personal growth and stuff over the years. You know what I mean? He's
I think 2012 Kurt Busch would look at 2021 Kurt Busch and say, oh, I didn't piss off Monster. They're still here.
Somebody said in one of the responses is that 2012 Kurt would find that button that would push 2021 Kurt over the edge, and there'd be 2 2012 Kurts by the end of it.
I know. What's his name? Bob Pockers prefers 2021 Kurt Busch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny.
Refrains me from beating the.
And so does Marty Smith too. He had a thing with Marty Smith.
I think most people prefer 2021 Kurt Busch. Yeah. If I had to guess.
But good for him. Good for him.
He's fun to talk to, man. He's fun.
Before we move on to the Xfinity race, which had plenty of drama, I just want to let people know I appreciate those super chats. We will read those at the top of the hour. Any that come in between now and then, we'll react to all those in just a short while. Before we talk Xfinity and briefly, let's talk truck race for a second. Kyle Busch won, made it look easy. All right, truck race is over. Before we talk Xfinity and that fight.
Wait, hold on. No. There was a freaking conspiracy on stage 2 of that race. Kyle Busch letting Nemechek by.
It made such a difference.
Conspiracy. Okay, all right, let's move on.
Okay.
Conspiracy.
But I want to ask you guys, do you think it's time? The GM of Atlanta Motor Speedway said that they're very likely going to repave that track by next year. Do you guys think it's time?
Yes. And here's the reason why. Look. I just want to clarify this from the get-go. I don't want it repaved, all right? I love Atlanta. I love old school Atlanta, man. That track has a lot of history, and like just racing there too in general just looks like it's a lot of fun, and just watching it too. But I mean, just it's clearly falling apart at this point. I mean, the last time Atlanta Motor Speedway got a repave was what, 97, 98? Dude, I was like I was just born basically, you know what I mean? So like,
that was 96 because it's older than me.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's just barely older than me. Like the point is though, like eventually every track does need to go through some sort of repay phase, and like my whole thing is let's just get it done now and just move on. You know what I mean? And then hopefully get that type of surface back in the years to follow.
I'm still curious if they're going to keep the current like tri-oval configuration, because there has been rumors for the last couple of years that they might want to go to the old school oval configuration.
The old school oval one. I wouldn't mind that neither. I'm just so used to like the current
if it's like Homestead, do it.
Homestead produces really good racing, so
basically Homestead is pretty much old school Atlanta, I'd say, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Well, it's way better than what Homestead used to be. I wouldn't want to go to a race they were like
mini Indianapolis, because that's where that was. But I think it's time. We've hit the point where the track it's getting like how the backstretch of Auto Club was. It's been overused to the point where it's too far gone. There's like a sweet spot that every track hits, and it depends on when it was paved. I've noticed the newer repaves that never comes. I'm looking at you, Michigan. Don't get me wrong, I love Michigan, but the racing there, if I'm being objective, is not good.
Bring IndyCar back to Michigan, by the way.
And that's even with the 2014 package too. So just for those saying, "Oh, it's just a package." No, it's any package. Atlanta's hit that shelf life, man. Like there was a sweet spot from like 2000, like 4 years after it was repaved. Whatever they repave it with, do the same surface they did with this, like the same compound. It was like 2000, 1999, somewhere in that range to about 2011, 2012, like. The last good finish at Atlanta I can remember was Gordon versus Johnson. That was like the last all-time
2011.
Finish.
Well, I'd say maybe
10 years ago.
Maybe 2014 to an extent. I remember Casey Kane and Kenseth had a pretty good battle that last.
But that was also the difference of tires, though. Too.
Yeah. It's kind of artificial. Yeah, artificial.
Yeah, I wouldn't say artificial. Yeah.
The Johnson Gordon one was more organic.
That was a battle, though. Yeah, that was a straight up battle.
That one lasted like an entire fuel run, basically.
I didn't see that race. I didn't see that race neither. I was in freaking school at the time. I was in middle
football
school.
Camp.
Damn.
Football practice. Yeah, but no, I think it's time. I think if you do it the same way you did before, no matter what the layout or no matter what the compound you use for it, I think it's time.
If there's a way to at least keep some of the bumps in it, it's freshly paved, but maybe keep some of those bumpy characteristics that make Atlanta what it is. Or
if they can keep it, if they can keep it, then you might as well just go for it.
Take a damn jackhammer to it so you can put the seams back in.
Yeah.
If you're fully going to reconfigure it, though, I'd love to see basically a Homestead Miami. I hate to say clone, but I'd like to see something very reminiscent of how Homestead is with the progressive banking and everything. I think that would be fantastic. But with that being said, let's talk a little bit about the Xfinity Series race. many people forget who won that race. Justin Allgaier gets the win, so great for him. Happy
Good
for
for
Allgaier.
him.
They've showed
Good
some
for
speed
him.
in recent weeks.
I thought Truex was going to run away with that for a
Yeah.
second.
They need one driver in victory lane if the other one's creating a bunch of controversy.
Yeah, so I was going to say, not too far from where his teammate was celebrating, it was Noah Gragson involved in, once again, another face-to-face physical conflict based on things that happened at the racetrack. So it was Noah Gragson and Daniel Hemrick getting into it on pit road during the race and then again afterwards. I don't know. What do you guys make of the whole deal? Both drivers, Noah Gragson says it wasn't intentional when he backed into Hemrick on pit road. Hemrick just wanted to fight him, and NASCAR's already said no penalties for either driver. So I don't know. What do you guys make of this altercation?
There's nothing you can do about NASCAR's decision, so it is what it is, and it's really just going to be like, I think NASCAR's take on this might be that they're playing, Noah, you're kind of on your own. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine in our book, but I wouldn't be surprised if something else happens with this. So it's kind of ironic that he's having so many issues with Joe Gibbs drivers because that's where he used to be at. He was in the JGR development program.
Yeah.
Perhaps there was some stuff already there. Maybe, I don't know. You never know. I don't know. But...
See, my thing is that, and people have been seeing the highlights playing as we talk about it. I don't care if it's not on purpose. It's careless to back up into another car on pit road. Even
it doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. Basically,
yeah.
Pit road is a very dangerous place to begin with, and the fact that nobody else backed up into anybody that day. So why did you?
If it's an accident, I'm not saying that they should just suspend the guy or even fine him points. But just there needs to be there's a common denominator now with Noah. And as people know, I'm a fan of him. I've defended him a lot.
I like him too. I mean, I think he's definitely doing some things that are controversial, but am I going to deny that I like the guy as a race car driver? I do like him as a race car driver.
Gragson is very entertaining, and then sometimes on the track he can be, immensely talented, but sometimes he just does things that are obviously way over his head that he should have no business doing. After the race, what was Daniel Hemrick supposed to do? Not confront him after the race? I totally understand why he did that. You back into someone on pit lane. And
it's like someone went after my guys. I got to stand up for my guys.
Yeah, and the whole defense with that too was kind of weird to me. It was Gragson was going really slow. It's not like he hit him hard. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Pit road is a fast, there's people on pit road moving really fast. You never know. So that's why you don't bump into other cars on pit lane.
We've seen guys in the pits get hurt, getting hit relatively slow speed.
Yeah, exactly.
Last year at Indy.
Yeah, Indy. They all stacked up. That was really scary. So it doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter that it's, Gragson or not and stuff. The point is, don't hit anybody on pit road like that too. And then, the gesture he made as well, was it confirmed if he was giving him the finger or not?
Yeah, he at least when he drove by him the first time. I'm not sure that he was backing up, but.
And also the thing is too, watching the entire video, he said, the 18 missed his stall. The 18 was trying to avoid someone else. And then it was accordion effect. And then the 9 happened to be right there and it messed up his stall and stuff. It's not like the 18 missed his stall because he ran out of talent,
Thinking of thinking of a solution though for this. A lot of people have been bringing up that other racing series have rules that, if you miss your pit stall or you go into your stall and you go too far, whatever it may be, it's a no backing up on pit road policy. You go around and come back again so that something like this doesn't happen. I'm kind of wondering, obviously I don't think this can be a big enough inciting incident, but do you think NASCAR should look at something like that going forward?
If it happens more often, then yeah, but it doesn't really happen that often because
the alternative would probably be something like this. Instead of doing all that, if you miss the pit, do your pit stop if you can, but they have to hold them there for 10 seconds.
Yeah,
you're going to lead to people just like slamming on the brakes, because then instead of pulling in just past his box, Hemrick would have just slammed on the brakes, probably got run over from behind because nobody would have been expecting it. So you're going to always run into issues. I don't know if that would necessarily make pit road a safer place. My take on the Noah Gragson deal, there's no way for us to know if he intentionally tried to make contact with Hemrick's car. It certainly, like you said at the start, Jared, I believe it was careless. I think a veteran driver who's been around a while, who's seen some more injuries and has dealt with pit road mishaps more frequently, I don't think they would have reversed the way he did. I don't think they would have been so so aggressive with how they tried to get back into their box. As far as the fight afterwards, I think that part of why Hemrick came after Gragson, one, he didn't like the middle finger out the window, which he clearly saw. Yeah. But I think two, it's a history. I remember I think part of why Jeff Gordon ended up fighting Brad Keselowski at Texas in 2014 is because Matt Kenseth fought him a few weeks earlier. And so there was just ramping up. Everyone's getting shots at Kenseth. Hamlin tried to fight him. Kenseth did. So then Gordon just figured, it's not enough to just talk to him here. I got to go fight him as well. I think that's kind of what was going on through Hemrick's mind. That's probably why Harrison Burton gave him that little fist bump afterwards.
Honestly, that made me laugh a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising. I mean, I haven't seen defend yourself. You got to defend yourself sometimes.
Man, I haven't seen someone that petty since Kyle was driving. I'm serious. That amount of pettiness is beautiful to me.
But I gotta say, I'm sorry.
It's just that little bit of flair, right at the end.
Wait, did you just say you haven't seen someone that petty since Kyle was driving? Are you talking about Kyle Petty?
Yeah,
there's a pun.
Oh my god.
Danny just rung it. There you go.
I gotta add though. I have to also add on Twitter. Noah Greg, I like Noah Gragson too as a driver, and think he's obviously very entertaining. But his fan base. Oh my god! I'm sorry. Dang it! His fan base sometimes.
Hit the mute button.
Dang it! Dude, I let it slip. Dang it! I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
No, you gotta do it like this. You gotta be like.
I know, I should have. It just slipped out. My bad. But his fan base sometimes, man, they could be some of the most toxic people. Like they were just blindly defending him, and I'm like, guys, he was clearly in the wrong here. Like come on here. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, well, it certainly led to a lot of controversy. Another fist fight. That's now the second fist fight in the last year that Noah Gragson's been a part of. Second off-track controversy he's been a part of in just the first few weeks this season. So you guys.
Hey, keep it up, bro.
It's sensing a trend. He is, they on Fox they were trying to say, it looks like Noah Gragson's NASCAR's new bad boy. Sure, if that's what he wants to be known for, I hope he becomes the bad boy that wins a lot. That's why I think Tony Stewart was so popular. I think if Noah Gragson's going to stick around in the sport for more than just a few more years, he's got to start winning. Not like how Stewart did. He won 40, 50 times and stuff. But
they're really gonna market him as the bad boy of the sport. That's gonna
unless you're winning, unless you're up front winning, you're just a nuisance. In my opinion.
Yeah, basically, it's just you're not you're just a nuisance on the track. Get off the track.
Like you guys,
NASCAR's newest nuisance.
Like you guys, I'm rooting for Noah. I just it's hard to defend a lot of the things he does on and sometimes off track.
Oh yeah, no, you cannot defend everything.
Hemrick's the one who started this fight. He's the one who came at him on pit road.
What I'm noticing though with Gragson, the emotions you feel about him fluctuate each week, because after home 7 we're like, and then after this week we're like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, so back up and down.
Someone said Gragson is the modern day Jimmy Spencer. That's.
That's actually pretty fair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Jimmy Spencer to me was I don't know. Yeah,
how many wins did Jimmy get in his?
Only 2, yeah. But I mean, he had a ton of Xfinity Series wins back in the day. Yeah. Very talented driver. So I don't know. So
maybe Gragson will get a recurring spot on Race Hub here in.
Years.
We'll see.
Never know.
Well, and then be shunned by the NASCAR.
Oh yeah, and then just be shunned.
Have a not so glamorous exit. Anyway, before we get off Atlanta, we talked about the Pro Invitational race last night. Jarrett, what were the TV ratings according to Adam Stern for this race?
All right, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of gymnastics here to show you why this is good, because it actually is good, but people won't accept that as an answer.
All right.
So the Cup race got 2.21 in the rating slot and 3.724 million, which compared to last year or 2019 sixth race, which was Martinsville on FS1, is way up. But you're saying, hey, that's FS1.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand that. So the last comparable race is actually Texas, which is the 7th race, which Texas actually usually gets an uptick in rating, surprisingly. So it's actually still worth comparing. It has the same rating as the Texas race from 2019 and over 100,000 more viewers or around 100,000 more viewers than that race, which is the most comparable race that we have to it. So that's not bad. Actually, it's not really that bad.
That's impressive.
A pretty solid rating, especially given 3 or 4, or really the whole season of slightly down ratings across the board. Now that's the first number that you could say, objectively, that's pretty good. All things considered, that's a very solid number.
Yeah, I mean, if we can just please keep this going this week. Weather gods in Bristol.
Yeah.
Dude, just like NASCAR needs to catch a break. We couldn't catch a break with this year's 500, and now the ratings have kind of taken its toll as a result.
And yeah, the weather forecast is not looking good for Bristol.
Yeah, and
you know who's going to Bristol?
You.
Maybe not you.
God, but hopefully the weather gods are going to be kind to us so we can get a good, nice, solid TV rating this weekend.
Yeah, but I'm happy with that one. Like it's good to see one it shows that there's still that stabilization at the start, middle, and of the season, give or take.
Oh, by the way, 666 people watching. Lick the like button, guys. Yeah, I had to do
cursed.
that.
And we will be reading super chats at the top of the hour. I appreciate the support.
On that note, for a second, so we were talking about the rain and stuff. The only thing that sucks about rain for this one, it's not like rain for any other Bristol race. Any other Bristol race, they can dry the track. You don't dry a dirt track.
You can't dry it. You just gotta let it soak in, basically.
The conditions got to be optimal. If it rains like the day before, race could get rained out.
It's supposed to rain the day before and the day of and the day after.
We'll get to that. We don't want to curse the Bristol Dirt
Easter
weekend
racing.
Yeah. So Jared, also you have the poll right for Atlanta. What did our beautiful fans think of the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 this year?
The poll, the famous iceberg poll.
We need a graphic. We need an intro for it.
Yeah.
The poll.
The poll.
The one poll.
Poll.
What if we can get a clip of like Mike Joy saying "top of the chart, poll" or something like that?
Yeah. Or no, get a clip of
record.
of what's his name, Larry Mack. Paul was it like the way he says Paul is always funny.
No, get the one of from NASCAR Thunder Games. You're on the pole.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, the poll. We did not break any records this week. We were less than 300 away.
Damn it.
Oh man.
You stopped the count. You stopped the count a little too early.
Stopped the count too early. Yes, 13.1 thousand according to my YouTube studio, which makes it the second highest voted one of all time. It's just above the Daytona 500. 8% of you thought this is a great race. 29% of you thought this is a good race. 46% said it was average, 12% said below average, and 4% of you said that this was no bueno. Which means 37% of you are net positive compared to 16 net negative, which aside from the Daytona 500 is the most negatively viewed race of the year so far, which is really weird to say.
Yeah.
Comparing to the other ones, this is the of the 75 races we've now polled, this is the 64th most popular in the positive range and the 13th most hated race. If you think about it that way. But it is the most popular Atlanta race because we're comparing it to last year's, which had 23% net positive compared to this year's 37. So y'all aren't Atlanta fans, I've noticed.
Hence the repave.
I love it.
They're probably like, please repave. All right. So, oh my God.
What kind of comments we got here?
Oh God.
Doesn't sound
Blue
good.
Cup. You got the number one comment. 13-year-olds on Discord, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse music.
Remember, kids, Lightning McQueen is a fraud, McFraud, if you follow me on Twitter. Speaking of Mickey Mouse.
Bryce Johnson says, Atlanta is very abrasive. Larry Mack with a file. Allow me to introduce myself.
I wish it was still the cheese grater. How could he not bring the same grater back? He could bring the same tire.
The cheese grater, dude! Like F1, like showcases their like technology advances, and like NASCAR, like over here, like cheese grater to a tire.
Hey, that's
like
part of the charm of NASCAR. F1.
No, we gotta change some of that.
Would you rather have some soulless computer graphic show you what downforce is, or would
he
you
doesn't have to be soulless?
Would you rather Larry McReynolds hammering something with the?
I'd rather have Larry Mack explain to me the technology stuff in his little stick, you know?
Let's hope it's like 100-something degrees in Sonoma, and then Larry's like with a flamethrower. This is what the tires are doing right now.
All right, fine.
It's hot in the cockpit. To demonstrate, I'm going to light Jamie McMurray on fire here.
I would let that slide. I mean, damn, they already did a freaking promo thing with Boyer and Gordon wrecking each other, like in rental cars, so you might
light
as well.
McMurray on fire. It's the next step.
Yeah.
Or McMurray, man.
OBG Gamer says Kyle Larson, Dynaco's all mine. Ryan Blaney, prepare for trouble. Joey Logano, make it double. Tires, make it triple.
I thought it was hilarious how they had that one restart where everyone went like 100 feet and then Hamlin wrecked Busch and then nobody pit except Suarez. And he went from being a 20th place car to like a 6th place car because his tires were 100 feet fresher than everybody else.
But then he sped. Why would you sped? You gave up a top 10. That was a clear. He passed Chase Elliott straight up. I was like, what's going on? He ended up speeding, so it sucks.
Mr. Beast 69, nice. Says, would you like $1,000 donated to the podcast? Yeah, sure, man, go for it.
Yeah, why not?
Watch it see actual Mr.
I'm glad
Beast.
you read that comment. Yes, that's a good one.
All right, let's scroll down a little bit, see if we can get some new people in here. That same person as
I'm reading
before.
the live chat. Sometimes the tires can burst. To explain, Larry Mack has a Glock pointed at a race tire. Just executes a tire on TV.
America.
Can't get that in Formula One.
Oh gosh, for next week. These tires are going to get very dirty. To demonstrate, I'm going to pour mud on it.
Make it a dirty Bristol. The dude named Dale. Hey, Dale. How's it going? Dale Reynolds says, I loved it. Felt like a nod back to the way things used to be. And in my opinion, how they should still be. Long green runs, guys sliding around trying to fight the wheel and manage grip, multiple lanes being used, throttle control, the purest, most simple definition of stock car racing. That's how stock car racing should be. Followed right after that by Blue Jimmy 48 fans saying the race sucked, plain and simple.
Wow. Both sides of the spectrum.
Total differences. Holy crap.
We're sitting on the fence over here.
All right, I'm going to read this the way that Spencer Smith typed it. So boring.
Is that really how he typed it? Can you?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of O's and R's.
Oh yeah, that sounds like it.
Yeah,
Come on, kids. Come on, kids. What's wrong with long green flag runs? I love long green flag runs. That's how you get to see, who's the best and who's not.
Hey, you had a pass for the win with like 5 laps to go. That's pretty dramatic.
Oh, no. According to like the Larson stands on Twitter, it's like, no, it's a Mickey win for Blaney because Logano helped.
Because Logano, raced and drove
raced.
the preferred lane.
Fun fact about Ryan Blaney wins. I think this was like his 4th or 5th win now.
His 5th career win.
His 5th career win. All of them, he has made the pass for the lead with less than 10 laps to go.
Because they're almost always at super speedways.
Yeah, and I even had somebody say that Blaney actually has 1.5 career wins. So I guess like the other ones don't count in some people's eyes. I guess I don't know.
I will say this. I said it in my video. People got mad at me for it. I'm sorry. Larson was faster than Logano. It was like I feel like that was on him for not getting past a lapped car. That kind of felt. I'll be real. And again, I'm all for Larson doing well, but that felt like a bit of a choke. Like you couldn't get around the lap car until he let you by. Like that's kind of the point.
A bit of a choke. That was a major choke in my opinion. I mean,
well, apparently, according to like half of my commenters, it's dude, you need to stop calling it a choke. That's like, no man, it's
they
a
love
choke.
him. They love him.
Hey, the thing is, he never got closer to Logano than like 3 or 4 car lengths. It's never like he even like tried to make a move on him. He just couldn't. That's not all dirty air. That's inability to change your line or just inability to get to a guy because you used your stuff up early in the run.
Oh, well, Too bad. Blaney's the winner.
Joey G says so much for the greatest season ever. Geez, I'm getting more and more negative as we go. Good Lord.
Holy crap.
Oh, we found a positive one.
Yeah, positive.
Augie Seaton says, great job, Blaney, and that kid who got the flag. You wonder why he's popular.
Oh, yeah, that kid was hesitant. He's like, what's going on? Am I getting the flag or what? Like, just take the flag.
All right, give me the guess. Is it going to be? I don't even have it ready yet.
We got to hear the name.
Let's think. Okay, Caleb Leno.
Oh,
probably.
Negative.
Negative. It's always negative.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, this race was hot garbage. Mess inside a dumpster fire inside a train wreck.
Wow,
I nearly slept through the entire race. They dumped Chicagoland for this joke of a track. What a disgrace. Why does Atlanta deserve a second bid? I call BS.
Well, they did not dump Chicagoland. That's an SMI decision. More like Kentucky was dropped for it.
Yeah.
Chicagoland was screwed because of the state of Illinois.
Yeah. Oh my
Let's
god.
clear that up now. I will take any opportunity I can to blame the state of Illinois for bad stuff.
I'm always impressed with these first comments being so elaborately like drawn out. Usually the first comment is just first. This guy wrote a freaking paragraph, like a dissertation about the evils of Atlanta Motor Speedway in that comment section. That's impressive stuff.
I mean, you could just tell that some of the fan base, their attention spans are just very short because like this was a typical race. This is just a typical race on an intermediate track to me.
You can tell some people also are purposely going out of their way to comment how bad it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
I might omit Caleb from a few of these next couple because like they're every time they're positive over him.
You've abused your privileges now, Caleb.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But also, one last thing. I do feel the race being 500 miles did play a large part into, some people not liking it as well. It did feel way too long, in my opinion, too, though.
Man, y'all would have hated the mid-2000s.
Well, no, that's the thing. I I grew up in that era. So, like, nowadays, it's like, I don't know. I just look forward to, the short tracks, the road courses more nowadays, just with the package, Like, I don't know. It's just something about this package running Atlanta. Like, yeah, it's nice to watch, but, like, as a diehard fan, I know what the current package they're racing at Atlanta. Like, once you get into these long green flag runs, like some of these guys can't really do much. You know what I mean? Like
the
once
package is gone next year.
Yeah, I know. They all thankfully though. So.
That's why I haven't complained about the package that much this year. I mean, we've all put our arguments out there. We're just sort of, this is a gap year. Basically.
Yeah, might as well just enjoy.
The greatest season ever is a gap year.
Yeah, I'm trying to get in the minds of why people thought this race was bad, though. So I was just like, maybe it's for these reasons.
I voted average on the iceberg poll.
I did too.
I did
average.
Too.
I voted average.
Jarrett, you voted good, didn't you? Did you vote great?
No, I voted good.
Okay. I could see good. Great. I'm
apparently,
I'm not that.
Apparently, I'm the most negative person on the damn website, though. So apparently, it's opposite day here. I voted Mickey.
Well, fantastic.
So thank you all for voting.
Yes, thank you all for voting in the famous iceberg poll. You can find it on the Icebergs YouTube channel after every single Cup Series race the rest of this season and probably for future seasons. But that's going to do it for Atlanta. Now, before we get into some of the more pressing news stories from the week, as well as our mailbag question of the week asked by one of y'all, we got to talk about the Pro Invitational last night. So William Byron, the iRacing ace, won 3 of the 6 races last year. He, of course, gets the W here last night. What'd you guys think of the broad? I mean, I'll go and start. I thought the broadcast was fantastic. I think that's the number one thing that anyone's watching these for. The racing is secondary, in my opinion, to how Mike Joy, Gordon, Boyer, in this case Logano, Larry Mack, how they call it and how they kind of present it. I think that's what's most important, and I thought they had a lot of fun with it. I think Mike Joy just went off script all night long, and it was tremendous. It was tremendous to watch. That being said, the racing was fine. Byron gets the win. Danny, what did you think of the Pro Invitational's return?
It was entertaining. It was sliding, and it was chaos. And yeah, I think that's about all anyone expected it to be. Thought it was interesting. Joey Logano got the pole in actual qualifying, and then he sucked it up the rest of the night.
You suck, Logano.
Yeah,
according to Mike Joy. I have to admit, like I had said multiple times, both on here this year and last year, when stuff about this is being brought up, I'm like, this is so dumb. Why are we doing this? The audience, you can see, also thought the same thing. But it was more fun than I thought it'd be. I was actually enjoying it, and so they succeeded, in my opinion. They got me hyped up for the weekend that hopefully will happen. I was ready, man. By the end of it, I was like, man, this is only 70 laps.
Yeah, honestly.
I caught the very tail end of the broadcast. I didn't really get home until with about 19 laps to go around that time.
I do got to say, you talk about what the audience thought of it and the amount of viewers it got. I think it's actually fair for a Wednesday night. Wednesday night goes up against a lot of programming, actually, especially one of the biggest nights for wrestling of the week. So they go up against a lot of people.
But yeah, it's like, to Jared's point, it was a lot more entertaining than I thought it'd be. And I was really surprised by the reception on Twitter it really got, especially after the whole Timmy Hill fiasco. I figured there'd be still some backlash to some people watching it because, I had seen on Twitter that, Timmy Hill did get in the race, but I also read and I watched in Eric's upload yesterday that, Timmy Hill's team, the way they got sponsorship was they would package not only the real life racing, but like, hey, our team is also in the Pro Invitational. But as it turns out, they didn't get an invite. So now they have to scramble for sponsorship. So like, yeah, sure. Timmy Hill got in, drove the 2. I mean, good story, but like the overall problem has not been solved, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I did see that Fox is going to make an effort to make sure Hill is invited to the future races.
Well, no, the team. Yeah, make sure
hopefully that means the team, because exactly like you said, Darian, that was the real problem. Is granted, perhaps a real life Cup Series team shouldn't be banking all their sponsorship on these iRacing events that they people mentioned this in my post race stream last night. Dale Earnhardt Jr. got 0 TV time. Like, you barely saw him on TV.
Oh, he did? I didn't. Oh,
barely got a mention. Chase Elliott, he was on TV a little bit, showing that battle on the cut line, but that was it. Barely a mention. Yep. So, I'm just saying you shouldn't bet on the iRacing races if you're going to sell your season sponsor. But that being said, they assumed they would meet the criteria to be qualified, being a winner in the events last year. So I completely understand why they would attempt to do that and why they'd be frustrated. It sounds like there's a chance they're going to miss some races the rest of the season because of lack of sponsorship. But no, I'm with you. It was great. It was a great story that basically Twitter rallied behind Timmy Hill, got it up to one of the top trending stories in the United States, and then for Team Penske to step up and at least get Timmy Hill a ride. A shame that MBM Motorsports as sponsors didn't get any exposure, but Timmy Hill gets in the race, finishes 8th, and that boosts his brand, of course. I mean, he's again top trending on Twitter. That's going to boost your brand, and hopefully that means better things in the future for Timmy Hill and that whole team.
It wasn't a NASCAR thing, though.
It wasn't a NASCAR thing. Yeah, some people said that. It was
initially more sad just at the fact that this is literally one of the guys who won one of these races last year.
And
his performances. His performances. He had like 3-4 other runner-up finishes in last year's races, too.
He was always there.
This guy's got to be in there in some capacity.
Well, you mentioned TV ratings earlier, Danny B. The ratings, according to Adam Stern, the ratings, they got 292,000 viewers estimated on FS1 last night. So that's down, obviously, from the usually over 1 million viewers they got on Sunday afternoon last year when there were no other sports on TV, and sometimes the race was simulcast on Big Fox. Obviously, they knew they weren't going to get those kinds of ratings, but earlier in the day or earlier in the week, I believe it was Steve Myers from iRacing said that both iRacing and Fox would have been happy with 200,000 live viewers, so they easily shattered those expectations. About 300,000 views. I chalk that up as a win. I think that's a very, very solid number.
That's a W.
If you factor in their live TV audience plus the amount of replays they're getting on the Fox app, and probably I think they put it up on YouTube. If they haven't, they will. So when you combine all that, it's gonna get a fair amount of eyes on it, actually.
Yeah,
but
that's a W.
Anytime that it's above where you're actually aiming for, unless like of course you're aiming like for way lower than it usually is. Like
we're aiming for 1 viewer. There we go.
We did it. No,
that was us in our season, in our series debut. So
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a fairly good number to have. I think that the big thing is how much does it fall off week over week? Like or month over month, honestly, because I think the next one's Talladega. That's going to be the real big question, because if this thing like gets 300,000 to start, and then by the end of it is like barely getting over 100,000, I think we will hit a point where we're like, okay, this thing is only here because we don't have practice and qualifying. Like if we have practice and qualifying, we'd be set. We won't need this. I personally think this is probably, I don't think this is going to last much longer than 2021, 2022 personally. So if they can get the best ratings they can and get the best stuff for iRacing to build on their platform, I think that in the end, that's a win.
Absolutely. Well, building off iRacing, before we get into the mailbag question and then the lightning round, and we'll be reading your super chats here shortly as well, keeping things iRacing focused, the biggest story I thought yesterday was not even the dirt race, was not even the Pro Invitational on national TV. To me, it was the announcement earlier in the day about iRacing and NASCAR working together to bring to life a Chicago street course race. The Pro Invitational will race at the Chicago Street Course in June 2nd. Folks watching the stream right now are seeing some of the promotional footage.
That's nice.
Yeah, so you got the skyline of Chicago. You've got, it looks like a street course. It's got temporary walls and things every which way. We'll start with you on this, Darian. Were you surprised at all to hear the news, and what do you make of this? Like, granted, it's going to be a virtual race. We know it's going to be a virtual race. That's awesome, but obviously the implications would suggest that maybe a real world Chicago street course race is on the horizon. That would be insane if that happens, in my opinion. But
first and foremost, RIP Chicagoland Speedway. That'll always be my favorite speedway in all of Chicago. But secondly, Roger Penske did mention something earlier in the week about, hey, we want to have, NASCAR run some street courses. And then Adam Stern put out a tweet later also saying they were in talks with, possibly Chicago, also maybe the LA Coliseum as well. So, there's a lot of interesting developments going on around that. Now, personally watching some street course races, in IndyCar, and then sometimes they do them in Formula One, like the action on track is particularly not the most exciting. But for stock cars, though, it's a tad bit different because back in the late 90s, or no, excuse me, the late 90s and early 2000s, the NASCAR West Series used to run actually a street course outside of the LA Coliseum, so it's technically been done before, and the racing was pretty good in my opinion. So I don't know, you never know, but obviously, personally, I would love Chicagoland to be on, back on the schedule. That's obviously not going to happen, but NASCAR still needs to be in that market per se. So a street course is the next best thing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with what you said. Street courses are inconsistent when it comes to putting on great racing. And I think, as Roger Penske said earlier in the week, it's really going to be important to see how the next gen car really handles, how dexterous is that car, how agile is that car, I think is how he put it. That's going to determine whether or not a street course race is actually entertaining. My takeaway, though, honestly, is especially if this turns into just a one-off event, I can't imagine they're going to flood the schedule with 3 or 4 street courses anytime soon. If we just get one, I'll be honest, the quality of racing is two for sure. But if we even just get one, like the quality of racing to me is important, but that's not the most important thing. The most important thing to me, I think, is making it happen. If you get a great race, that's all the better. But to me, it's just bringing NASCAR to the fans, which NASCAR has not done in my lifetime. I don't count doing burnouts on the strip or
that's nothing. That's
parades
nothing.
and I don't count that. Like bringing an actual competitive event to the fans has not been done. Fans have to actively seek out a NASCAR race. You got to be willing to drive an hour outside the city. You got to be willing to stay overnight. To bring an event though to a large city. Chicago is the third biggest city in the country. That
Amazing
would be fantastic.
Market, yeah.
You'll attract hardcore fans, but you'll also attract people that are just casually interested in it. And I always say I got hooked on the sport when I saw a race in person. If you get 50,000 people in the city that weekend that have never really watched a NASCAR race but see one in person right off the bat, they're going to develop an attachment to the sport that I think just watching it on TV because you're interested in Bubba Wallace, or you're interested in Daytona because you've heard Daytona is a big deal. It'll attract fans in a way that those TV is unable to. So the racing needs to be good, but it's not the most important thing to me. The most important thing is just making it a great experience for fans and attendance.
Well, I'll say
go ahead.
I'll say this about Chicago fans being more of a native relatively. I've grown up and lived my whole life around Chicago fans and unfortunately Chicago sports media. It's the media I don't really
They suck, dude. Chicago sports media is like one of the worst ever.
Well, anyway, the thing about Chicago is if you're it's different with teams than with NASCAR, but it's if you're good, you're good. But I've seen, aside from the Cubs, I've seen every team that sucked while being in Chicago gets chewed up and spit out. And I think that if this race puts on a horrible show or is just a nuisance in general and has no gain for Chicago fans, it will get chewed up and spit out, and it'll be bad. If it is Chicago, it could be New York, could be LA. I don't know.
Yeah, they did not say for sure Chicago is what their goal. But anyway, yeah, go ahead.
But dude, they will absolutely rip you. I mean, ask Jay Cutler. They will rip you apart if you do not.
He doesn't care, though. That's the thing. Jay Cutler never cared. Though.
I mean, there's drunk people in NASCAR, just like Jay Cutler.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, I trust me. Jay Cutler definitely was not sober on a lot of those snaps.
He never looks sober ever. That's the thing.
But you look at people that have failed in Chicago sports, and it's not good. So I think if you are going to go with Chicago, you are playing with fire, because if you don't deliver, you are not going to fit in, and you are not going to be grandfathered into this thing.
Going right into the deep
into
end.
the city. Oh
right
yeah,
into the deep end, basically.
Look at Mitch Trubisky. Like, the dude was the greatest thing since sliced bread when he was drafted in Chicago, and now they won't even make a goodbye video to him the way they did about every other person that left.
Oh yeah, hold on. Remember QB1 Andy Dalton?
I'm just saying, this isn't like you're going to like Minneapolis, or you're going to go to Milwaukee or something.
No, this is Chicago. A major city. This is Chicago.
They take their sport seriously, and do not underestimate, like, because it's looking like that's they're aiming for. I don't think they would have the mayor of Chicago and Illinois government members involved in this if it was just scanning for a sim, if their main goal wasn't to go try and get this in the city for real one day. And so that's where I'm just like, NASCAR better know what they're getting into, because if they jump off the deep end on this one, that's
you're gonna get
big market to piss off.
I will say though, that sounds like it has a lot of potential, enjoying a deep dish pizza and watching a NASCAR
race.
Like
dude, that's good. Hey, that sounds good.
Chicago fans may warm up to the race if when they see Michael Jordan in attendance and with the 23.
Yeah,
that might help. Might help.
He better be big in the promotion for.
I wonder if they could possibly work out a one race deal to actually have a Chicago Bulls car out there.
No,
Jordan
behind the wheel. He'll have to do the pace car, drive the pace car, wave the green flag, something. He'll have to be involved, I'm sure.
And I'm also curious to see if other outside drivers get involved as well. I mean, street courses do attract some marquee talents too. So I don't know. You never know.
I think another thing you could do, just from being a Chicago sports fan. I know this would probably make the 5% of Chicago sports fans that aren't Cubs fans and are White Sox fans mad. But sorry, White Sox fans.
Oh yeah, the White Sox exist. That's right.
You're the second team in your own city.
I forgot the White Sox even existed. Thank you, Jared.
Yeah, most people do. If they got like a member of the World Series winning Cubs team out there, or some members, I mean,
that would be good. That would be good.
Get Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo and like Javi Baez out there.
See, I can
get Chicago fans out.
I can imagine, like, for the Music City Grand Prix, it's going to attract a lot of celebrities, a lot of country music stars, Tennessee Titans, like Derrick Henry. There'll be a lot of big names like that show for that. So I can imagine Chicago could do the same.
Isn't Nashville? Isn't Nashville like the country music capital?
Country music capital.
Yeah.
Perfect. Is Oprah from Chicago?
She is. She is from Chicago.
Hey, maybe Oprah show up and support Bubba Walls. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Remember what happened the last time she was around a car in a show or anything like that? She kind of got run over.
Oh.
Drake and Josh reference on the NASCAR Weekly podcast.
Would you let go of the wall? Watch out! I got
someone. If she were there, someone would need to make that meme.
Yeah.
Now I want to see it.
I hope.
Yeah. Lady, the track is hot. The track is hot. Oh,
no, but in conclusion, though, NASCAR, I would say a good amount of street courses to have. Let's say by 2025, 2026, I'd say if NASCAR implemented, let's say maybe 2 to 3 street courses, I'd be like, all right, fine. What the hell?
If you're gonna add a bunch of street courses, like at that point, the racing has to be good. You gotta make sure.
You gotta. But like, I feel like I mean, perhaps maybe with this next gen car, the racing might, on these street courses might, persevere. You never know. We'll see.
Absolutely.
Shot.
Well, continuing on this conversation of, building a track in the city of our fantasies or whatever, that kind of ties into our mailbag question of the week. So thank you to Doritos and Mountain Dew for sending an email to, what's it, Jared? weeklypodcastguest@gmail.com.
Yes, and I will put that in the chat right now.
Thank you guys for sending us your questions. We feel so honored to be answering them.
From Doritos and Mountain Dew, he asks, if each of you had the money to build a racetrack, where would you build one? I'll start. I'm biased. I'd build one in my home city of Houston. I'd figure out a way. I don't know how big it would be, but I'd love to build like a 1/4-mile bull ring inside the frame of the Astrodome. I want them to gut the exterior of the building, keep just like the frame or something, rework the grandstand. Obviously, you'd have to redo the grandstands, modernize it. But if you build like a 1/4-mile bull ring, I think it would fit inside the Astrodome. That'd be pretty cool.
I got to put my business cap on here. So in terms of markets, I got to think of marquee markets here. up in Seattle, they don't really like. They have some racing up there too, especially dirt racing, all that stuff, open wheel. Casey Kane's even from not from Seattle, but he's from the state of Washington up there. I'd say maybe I would go for building a Bristol type track in Seattle too. I don't know where exactly you would put it, but. Yeah, I know that's the thing. Like that's the one thing though. But I mean, like just the market though, being in the market's cool. And it doesn't rain every day though, but most days though. So hopefully we get some racing in. I don't know.
I would go into an untapped market that I feel like I'm surprised NASCAR is not into. I'd go down to New Orleans, Louisiana, and that might be a tough place with the way the weather can be, but so is Florida. So I would do a 1 mile oval in New Orleans Speedway, call it Bayou Speedway, and in the infield there would also be a little short dirt track there too.
How come NASCAR hasn't tried to tap into the Louisiana market?
Because really, I don't think there's any tracks down there. So
yeah, true. Yeah.
There is a very loyal fan base that's been left without a track now. I say scrap the current format of the Kentucky Speedway and make it a bull ring. Or if you really want to go all out with it, sorry, Eric, scrap the Texas Motor Speedway and make that thing a freaking 3 mile super speedway and say everything's bigger in Texas.
I actually 100% support that. If Eddie Gossage wants to gut Texas and make it the largest super speedway on planet Earth,
Texas Super Speedway.
Everything is bigger in Texas.
I'll chip in $20. Do it.
And then instead of having little shotguns, you just get a freaking cannon. That's your trophy. You get a cannon.
Yeah, come on, Eddie. Come on, Eddie. You already ruined the track. You might as well fix it.
You know how some tracks the winner gets an awesome meal. Like you go to New Hampshire, you win, the big lobster.
Yeah.
So for Texas, why are we not giving these guys these freaking giant Texas-sized steaks that you see some people get sometimes?
Oh my gosh, this is a glorious idea.
You get don't you get like a gun or something?
Yeah,
you get a gun. You do get a gun, but they need a good steak to go with that too.
Yeah.
You need to give them a giant Texas steak and a freaking Mossberg.
What do you win? A gun and a huge steak.
What is more Texas than that?
Dude, that's like a very
power outages. I don't know.
That still stings.
It might be me saying we got severe thunderstorms going on here.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy weather out there. Been hitting people the last few days. So I hope everyone's staying safe. If you're in
stay safe. I saw in Alabama there was tornadoes and some people had passed away. So stay safe, guys.
Well, thank you.
I just got a text from my dad. He's watching. He said, "Holy bleep, 3 mile super speedway. That's awesome."
But you only have to make it bigger than Talladega. Just make it 2.7 miles.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, just a little.
No, let's have it a whole different number, 3, just so they can be like, "Screw you, we're bigger."
Come on, Eddie. The current Texas sucks. Just do something. You can
make it really nice and just make it 2.69. That's still bigger than Talladega.
A quadruple super speedway.
Why not? What if there's a way they could just move the backstretch at the current Texas Motor Speedway back? So basically keep the front stretch mostly intact and just expand. I don't know how. Never mind.
Dude, I want the banking. I want to have 45-degree bankings in the corner. I want to have.
This isn't NR 2003.
No. I want to have 31-degree banking in the trioval. It'd be our trioval is as much as your turns, Talladega.
Oh my gosh, that's you could probably do that in NR 2003 at least.
We should do it.
At least customize that.
Hey, you know what? When we're at Coda or Nashville, let's do that as a stream.
Yeah, dude. I think they have a Pocono version of that though, not Texas, but I'll have to check.
One of these tracks
with banking
needs to build a massive observation deck in the center of the race, in the infield that rotates, so you can be sitting up there looking down and just slowly rotating as the cars go by.
Yeah,
that would be so cool.
I feel like if they had that, the TV people would be like, "No, we need that.
We need that."
The TV can have a spot.
I know Tiburon.
Something
they're Spamming Tiburon. I know Tiburon. Or call it Tatlatona.
Oh, Tiburon. Yeah.
Wait, is it Tiburon? I always call it Tiburon.
I always say Tiburon.
I think it's Tiburon.
I think it's called Tiburon, I believe. Or just Orlando Speedway, because that's where they're from.
Chat, type it out. How do we say it? Then you're just gonna write the same, just how it's spelled.
Somebody just said Eric Estep Motor Speedway, so I guess it's Estep's.
Hey, again, I got $3. I'll put my name on it.
I got $3.
Yeah.
I got $3.
Sounds great.
I got a rock.
Fantastic. Well, before we get into the lightning round, we have to thank one of our two major sponsors, Lionel Racing. Darian, what diecast
McDuffie! JD McDuffie. Yes, he made 650 something starts, didn't get a win, passed away unfortunately, but I think he should be in the Hall of Fame just because he was one of the premier underdogs in the sport at the time, raced for over 30 years. So put McDuffie in the Hall of Fame, guys.
Well, make sure to order your 2020 or pre-order your 2021 diecast at lionelracing.com or at any authorized Lionel dealer. Obviously, be sure to keep an eye out at your local Walmarts and Targets for the latest NASCAR Authentics waves. So yeah, thank you to Lionel Racing each week for being a proud supporter of the Out of the Groove Podcast Network. I love that Crafton truck, Danny. That is clean.
Hey, we had to go dirt racing for Dirt Weeks. So.
Smart. That's nice.
I just want to shout out
that thing's
Slap
hideous,
right now.
Jarrett. That thing is hideous.
I know. It slaps.
It's a slap.
It's Slap's
Steak
favorite.
goes.
It's Slap's favorite diecast. Its favorite paint scheme. Buddy, if you're out there, go for it. Get this one when you can. And also,
why does he
if
like
he ever
that?
opens a PO box, I want everyone to send him this.
Why does he like that scheme so? Oh my god, I don't know.
It's not a bad scheme.
It's not a bad scheme, but like every time I associate.
Honestly, out of all the cars that Mark Martin drove in the 8, that's the one that looks more like the real 8. It's a red 8. So.
Yeah, I
if
just
you
think
look at it
more-
like if you just look
That's
at
Dale Jr. Oh my god.
That's Junior. That's happening right there.
Oh, no,
I just think more of like the backstory with that because 2008 Junior just left, and I'm just like 8.
Seeing that diecast, I wish that there was a diecast of 2009 Eric Almirola in the 8 because they had like Guitar Hero on it. I wish that would exist.
Oh
that'd be a cool
yeah.
one.
That was like the last year they ever ran it. It was like Target Guitar Hero number 8.
Yeah.
and this is back on the diecast. You have to stick like a pen or something up so you could pop the hood.
Oh yeah, you couldn't even like
In
get the
between
hood
the
open
wheel.
straight up. Yeah, you had to do that.
Yeah. See, it even folds back.
Oh, he's got a terrible crash. You can't see.
Oh god.
But yeah, so make sure Slap sees this. If you want, take a screenshot and put it on Twitter for him.
Yeah.
Fantastic stuff. Well, folks, I know there's some bad weather around the country, and I think even here at the NASCAR Weekly Podcast, we've been hit with a lightning advisory effect.
Ah!
Oh my goodness! Wait, Jarrett, duck! Oh, just in time. No, stay down, Jarrett, stay down.
And it's the lightning round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast.
I actually dropped my papers for it.
Oh my gosh!
Very professional, I know.
I was just waiting for you. I was like, "Where's the papers?" There they are.
So
Yeah,
Jared,
yeah.
What do we have on tap for tonight?
All right. It's funny. I dropped the papers and I put them right back on the ground. The Nashville Super Speedway is going to be adding grandstands for the June weekend. So more tickets are, well, at the time I wrote this, were now available. I don't know if they are now. They're going fast. So
They're going fast, but also I've also been made aware that there is anyone who's 16 or older is now eligible for a COVID vaccine in Tennessee. So I'm planning to get mine soon. Hopefully everyone else is too.
Yep.
Yep.
So maybe they can sell more tickets if everything goes good.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Bubba Wallace is running the Dirt Bristol Truck Race for Spencer Davis Motorsports with engines from Vittori, which is really the Dirt Bristol Truck Cup race.
Yeah, the Truck Series is turning into the Truck Cup Light Series this weekend.
Yep.
We'll call it the Mickey Mouse Series. Mike Snyder is running the Dirt Bristol for, was it Raum? Is that how you say it?
Rayume.
Rayume. RB. So good luck. Tony Stewart is now engaged to NHRA Top Fuel dragster Leah Pruitt. That's pretty cool.
Congrats.
Wasn't he engaged before?
He was.
Someone?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Or he was dating someone at least.
She was like a dirt race or something like that. It didn't last long. So
Okay.
Congrats, Tony. And
congrats.
Leah. Two badasses of the racing world. Michigan outdoor facilities will be opened to 20% capacity despite COVID cases shooting up 35% recently, per Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Make of that what you will. Chris Wright tested positive for COVID-19, so Josh Berry will sub in the number 02 truck. Another opportunity for Berry. I hope he doesn't get crashed, but if he does, please don't bird someone again.
Oh, dude, we forgot to talk about that. The freaking the grass was so tall this weekend too, by the way, and his car got shredded.
It was as tall as this water bottle.
Yeah, like what is crazy?
Like we're in that weird season where no one knows to mow it yet.
I'm feeling that up here right now. Kurt Busch, Christopher Bell, and Chase Briscoe will all be driving in a Goodyear tire test at Nashville on Tuesday. Yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, I should say. I wrote this back when it came out. I write this stuff as it comes out. So, yeah, it happened 2 days ago. Was not open to the public. All this according to Bob Pockris.
I saw a photo of Kurt Busch. I don't have it pulled up for people in the chat, but there was a photo Kurt Busch posted of his right front tire. It was corded. As Noah Gregson would say, it was corded. Big time. But it sounds like they made gains throughout the day, so they're optimistic it'll be fine.
I'm really kind of curious how that surface is going to be because it hadn't been raced on in 10 years. So
it's going to be rough.
Fingers crossed and hope for the best.
Hey, rough surface as long as it doesn't just destroy tires. That's might make for a good race.
It's concrete though. It's not asphalt. It's concrete. So it might be a little bit better.
Still rough. Can still destroy tires.
Won't be as hot as if it were asphalt. That's one thing to talk about there. Signs at the track at Atlanta have the track hosting 2 races once again in 2022. We can thank NASCAR Reddit for making that public to everybody.
So that means Kentucky is for sure dead.
Yeah, it's done. Reconfigure it into a short track, and it might have a chance of coming back.
Watch Kentucky
and move it somewhere else.
Kentucky Super Speedway.
Watch Kentucky actually comes back on the schedule. They're like, "What'd you take away for it? The first Bristol race."
What SMI track
would
you get rid of for Kentucky?
Texas.
Texas. Yes, Texas.
I'm sorry, I hate Texas.
I was thinking,
man.
well, Texas only has 1 points paid date now, so I was thinking if you don't
take it away,
take it away.
No, you just said ratings go up for Texas every year for some reason.
Actually, we have COTA now, so you can just take both of them off the schedule. I don't care.
No,
I don't really care.
No, don't take both.
No, we're taking both. You have COTA now. It's fine.
Oh, okay. As long as we keep COTA. All right, never mind.
No,
never mind.
I think I made this comparison like a year or two ago, but I said that Texas being in the playoffs reconfigured like this is God's cruel way of putting Kentucky in the playoffs without actually doing it. Motor Mouths is now going on Peacock, and also talking about some different shows. Glass Case of Emotion has now released a promo.
They're back.
Picture. So yeah, they're coming back.
Finally.
Don't worry about it for a second.
Blaney was inspired by your his appearance on our show. Your UFO Jared hypnotized him into starting a podcast again.
He called him. He called him. I was like, "Hey guys, they're saying we're done. We done? No, okay."
He was like, even on the show, he was like, you might hear some stuff pretty soon. So now we
give me the UFO. Early talks for a contract extension with Penske have now begun with Brad Keselowski, according to Jenna Fryer, and according to J-Ski, Roger Penske expects him to renew.
He'd be a smart man to do that. Man, you don't want to turn out like SHR, lose all their veteran drivers, and now they suck.
Yeah, pretty much.
You got to be careful, but we'll see if it works out. I'm sure Keselowski's going to get an offer from someone else, but he probably wants to stay with Penske if possible.
Freightliner is going to be sponsoring Kyle Larson at the Bristol Dirt Race. I think that might be a smart investment. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. The White House is working with NASCAR on COVID vaccination efforts, according to J-Ski. Josh Berry is throwing it back to Dale Jr.'s 2001 Pepsi 400 car.
I love it.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
And it's actually got on the side of it like a cartoon of like Dale and Mikey hugging.
Dale and Mikey hugging.
Right. No, I did see that. Yeah.
But the 8 font is interesting because it's like the Hendrick 88 font just stretched out really long.
Haha, F you, Teresa. You can't do nothing.
Lawsuit.
That's like the equivalent of the "I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you, but I love
touching
you."
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper announces that they will be easing Roy Cooper announces they'll be easing the restrictions for COVID and allowing 50% capacity at sporting venues, which means 40,000 can be let in for the Coke 600 because I think it's like at 80,000 now capacity.
Yeah, around there.
They'll find a way to squeeze a few more than that in there.
Yeah, they'll find a way.
Be like, wow, that looks awfully sold out. They're cardboard. They're moving. They're still cardboard.
It's like, includes
campgrounds.
Are you sure this is 50%? Yes. Our numbers are calculating 60. Get at it.
Wikipedia still says we seat 150,000, but that number's outdated. But it's Wikipedia.
Look, you can't see the underground grandstands.
Yeah.
A little sad news here. Red Farmers house and race car got hit by a tornado today. Luckily, he's okay. And I did see this right before we went live, looking like Dale Jr. Tweeted out that he, a little thing like, he might need a new house and race car. So if Junior's getting involved, that might be a good end to this.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
And then last up on it, Martinsville and Richmond will definitely have over 1,000 spectators. Number is still unclear, but the state cap is going to be 30% for both races. This, according to Bob Pockris.
Barbara.
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
And that'll do it for another edition of the Lightning Round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Oh, yeah. I have to do the light thing. Yes.
We've all got lighting effects. That's
yes,
fantastic.
and that'll do it for another edition of the Lightning Round on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. And now,
gracious.
back to the show.
I don't have a light thing. I'm too far away.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, before we get into the second half of the show, I want to thank everyone who sent in super chat so far. Let's see what you guys are talking about in the chat. We'll answer any questions that we have here. Let's see. Zachary Plant earlier sent 5. Do you think Matty D will win this year? He has been good the last few races, and maybe Suarez as well. What do you guys think?
No, I don't think he will.
No.
I don't think it's coming.
Now he wins this week.
Yeah, I don't know. They've shown some speed, and that means 11th place last week. That's not good enough. Michael Jensen, thank you for the 10. So far, no one has stolen a win technically because all 6 winners are in the top 16 in points. Good point. If McDowell falls out, then it's stealing a spot, but it's cool to see such parity so far. That's a good point. McDowell's in the top 16 still because he had 3 straight top 10s to start the year. Other surprising guys, Stenhouse, I believe, is still 16th or 17th in points, and he's a good dirt guy, so watch out for him this weekend. Jake sent 3 and said, I will donate 1,000 next week if Quinn Houff wins. Whose channel we on next week? Danny's?
I'm hosting, so I pray that Quinn Houff will win.
He's doing the Quinn Houff win dance. Hey, there's rain in the forecast. You never know. I Like Bacon says, how about Ricky Stenhouse Jr.? All top 20 so far. He was way ahead of me on that. Yes, Stenhouse, very consistent this year. Very impressive. Movement, do you think Bell will get another win, and what track? I think he could. He
could win this weekend.
He could win this weekend. If not this weekend, I would bet a mile and a half. I feel like the Gibbs cars in general have been pretty good at mile and a half, but Hendrick's been tough to beat this year, so I don't know.
Maybe he'll win the All-Star race.
Maybe. That's a good point. Ethan Kane sent 5. Thank you. Why is it fans hated Kentucky last year after a poor race with an exciting finish, and this race is looked at differently because of the winner?
Because Atlanta has a longer, better history.
Yeah.
That's probably it. You're right.
Yeah.
But I think the winner in this case does help. I think the fact that Larson dominated, but we still got a surprise winner at the end of the day, I think that just, NASCAR, fans in general like a surprise sometimes.
If someone like Harvick won over Larson, then there'd be a much different reaction. So
if it's Blaney or Chase Elliott winning,
it's okay. Yeah.
As much as I don't mean to rip on Elliott fans, but that's come back to
that's the way.
Damn funny.
That's the way it is, though. I'm sorry.
I imagined like the slow violin being played in the background.
Yeah.
James Greer, thank you. I was on the very front row. It was so awesome watching my boy Blaney passing Larson right in front of me. 12 for the win. That's pretty
nice.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nicholas Gray, want to be in Bristol this weekend for the race, but in each of your opinion, what is the risk versus reward coming from this dirt race?
The risk is this could be a
lot of cars get tore up.
Yeah, this could be a shit show. Basically, that's the risk. The reward is we win either way. We get to see either a shit show or a good, fantastic race. So we can't lose this weekend. It's great.
I think the risk, the reward is, Fox has poured a lot into this. Great TV ratings, great promotion, great hype, great excitement. The risk, though, I think honestly might be the weather, quite frankly, because as much as NASCAR's had problems with the weather in the past, dirt is even more susceptible to weather delays. So that could be an issue.
Just let NASCAR have this one thing, weather guys. Just let them have this one thing. We're finally getting some momentum from this good TV rating from Atlanta. Please let it continue. Don't let it rain.
Thank you, Irvin Alvarado, for the $20 super chat. Thank you. I think a street circuit race could be successful if all parties can be on board. Sadly, thinking F1 race in New Jersey, in my hometown. For iRacing, scanning in cities, a better way to see the future of motorsports, not just NASCAR. That was one thing we didn't really hit on, but apparently last fall, so like fall 2020, is when Chicago briefly closed down part of their city for iRacing to go in and do a quick scan. Somehow that went unnoticed. Nobody noticed an iRacing truck driving down Chicago Chicago and post it to Reddit or something, I guess. But
isn't even like an official iRacing truck or like some
van. It was very suspicious looking.
probably that with the camera in the back. Yeah. People probably thought it was like Google scanning a map or something like that.
But Irvin makes a good point though that iRacing. I mean, they said that they've used iRacing to help plan the half-mile conversion of Auto Club. Like they built the new track in iRacing to see how it would look. And now, theoretically, at least they're going to go and build the real thing in real life. So it is.
I mean, hey, it's it's useful software to help out this stuff. If it helps out with like the future of like of where we can race, then I'm all for it. Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Denny delivers. It's just a white pale man driving around.
With Dale Jr.
Kids, I
behind
got
the
some
wheel.
iRacing. Yeah. Hey kids, I got some iRacing.
Free iRacing subscriptions.
You want to come to the fairgrounds?
Oh, I bet.
God.
Doesn't even give out candy or anything. He's just trying to give out
He gives out tickets to the fairgrounds
or iRacing subscriptions. Oh, white freaking man. Hey, what's he wearing? Is he wearing anything suspicious or no?
Is he wearing anything at all? That's
he's wearing a dirty white shirt. Like, I don't know.
Oh my god. No, God, kids, don't go to white vans. There are no iRacing subscriptions. Okay? No, just stay away.
Even if it's Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
No, stay away.
Especially not then. Brendan, thank you. Build a quarter-mile track in the Cowboys Stadium in Dallas. And that roof opens up, right? Because you probably want the roof open.
Yes.
Sure, go for it.
Jerry World?
Hey, they do like Monster Jam and stuff in football stadiums, so they're able to bring all that crap in for that. I'm sure they can bring.
Hey, what about Houston? What about Houston, Eric? I like their stadium.
They could do it there. Yeah, cool. They could put
like all their sports teams suck now, so you might as well have something.
The track will implode.
Gotta sell tickets to something.
I know this is kind of like out of range here, but I do want to say if there's anyone in Tennessee watching right now, there is currently a tornado warning in around Lawrence County. That's a little bit south of Nashville, Mount Pleasant. The storm appears to be heading kind of east, could be heading towards Columbia, Spring Hill, in that area. I know we've got a lot of Tennessee viewers who do tune in, so just kind of keep an eye on the weather too, guys.
Yeah, stay safe, guys.
Stay safe, everybody.
Jay Hick says quad oval super speedway. He really likes that idea, Jarrett. Dylan says I walked into my Walmart the other day and got the entire first All-Star wave. So there you go, finding some good Lionel finds in the wild. That's great. Levi, another week, another podcast. Who's getting the Josh Berry lawn care shirt? I like that. Yeah. PTM Billy says was glad to hear the sleeping giant that is Nashville Super Speedway awaken. That's very dramatic. I feel like Mike Joy's gonna steal that line for like his intro. The sleeping giant of Nashville Super Speed. Anyway, yeah. And then this one from 4.6 P71 SAP. I don't know, like some an IP address or something.
This is a freaking IP address, basically.
Yeah. Sup, guys? Hope you're doing well. What do y'all think is the future for Chicagoland? Jarrett, I know you're not very hopeful about Chicagoland.
Nah,
it's
man.
dead. R.I.P.
I think the future is an Amazon facility.
Pour him one.
Amazon always the future, man.
Gotta pour one for Chicagoland.
Yeah, I want it so badly to be proven wrong.
Our final super chat, another massive 20 from Confirmation07. Thank you, Confirmation. Here's $20 I'm spending for good karma for my hope that NASCAR can eventually return to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. When Xfinity or when the Nationwide Series used to race there, I was always looking forward to those races. Something exciting would always happen. Remember, that's where the whole Danica Patrick shoe fiasco.
No shoes, no service.
And then what's his name? And then in 2007, Robbie Gordon like completely ignored NASCAR's calls.
He won that race.
Yeah, he won the race. So Harvick didn't win. Robbie Gordon won that race. So
Harvick got a Mickey Mouse win.
He got a Mickey Mouse win.
If NASCAR goes, if the Cup Series goes to Canada, I would love that track to be
Montreal. I mean, I know Canadian Tire's been on the schedule, but Montreal's so much more exciting with the stock cars to me. It's way more exciting.
Yeah, I would agree. Where's Canadian Tire located? Like near what cities? I don't
know.
I don't know my Canadian geography.
Bowmanville.
No,
I don't know. No, that's it. Is.
I don't either. All I know is it's in Bowmansville.
Well, all I know is Montreal is a big city, so anything near there, that's that track has hosted F1 races, correct? That's like
it currently hosts the Canadian Grand Prix still.
So certainly, it's clearly a very well.
It's high venue. Yeah, it's high venue.
Hey, I have got some actually good that we overlooked for the lightning round coming in.
I think I know.
Marissa Briscoe has announced that they are expecting a boy in October.
Oh, that's
Very
Good.
cool.
They need that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
That's fantastic. Well, that's going to do it for the first round of Super Chats. If any others come in, we will hit them up at the end of the show. We've got a couple other stories to get to. We've also got to give spinning the UFO. Oh yeah, if you tell Jarrett to spin the UFO, he will spin the UFO.
Yeah, he'll do it.
Yeah, that thing.
It's like my robotic reaction. I need to do it.
Did you guys ever in elementary school have to do those like spin the frisbee? What were they called? You spin them on your fingers.
No, I probably threw a frisbee at somebody's face, probably in first grade.
Did anyone have to do the stuff where you like spun? There was like a whole thing. It was like cup stacking was 1 month, and then the next month it was freaking like spin the shit on you. Anyway.
Now the cup stacking, I remember, but I was always getting into fights when I was little, so I didn't do all that stuff.
Throwing the cups at the other second grade.
Yeah, pretty much, or like the whole desk, basically. You know.
It's all right. I mean, when I was in kindergarten, I bit a kid, so. So
all I remember about kindergarten was the best days was when we went to PE and we got to do like the big parachute or we got to roll on the rolly things.
See, like I was like too aggressive when I was little. We would play like football and basketball in like first, second grade. I would always just knock people down.
See, I think you would be the one to bite somebody in PE.
I did more than biting back in those days. Let me tell you, a little more than that.
One last super chat really quick. Kid. If NASCAR had true stock cars, what manufacturer would succeed the most?
Wait, what was the question again?
If NASCAR truly used stock cars, what manufacturer would win the most?
Dodge would never have left. Dodge is sitting there at their meetings. They're just like, you know what? Let's put a 750 Hemi in a freaking minivan. Let's do it.
That's crazy.
That's Dodge in a nutshell.
Would dominate.
Yes, because their V6 Camrys would dominate.
They wouldn't, is what I was saying.
And actually, even then, the V6 is a stretch for the Camry. They come standard with a 4-cylinder. So
yeah, but Dodge by far would succeed.
Dodge would be sitting there and being like, 800 horsepower, eh? Let's do 1800.
Let's do double.
I think Camaro and Mustang would be about even, and then the Toyota guys would just be struggling.
No, Dodge would never have left. They dominate.
Maybe they bring the Supra to the Cup Series. What's the Supra put in? Is the Supra any remotely competitive?
Supra would be their best choice because it does do pretty good.
I did see a Camry in my neighborhood the other day with a freaking massive wing on the back. I don't know how much downforce that creates, but I'd given him a shot.
The random cars with the massive wing. Oh yeah, freaking Kamikaze has one of those. His freaking Toyota has a massive wing in the back. That's right.
All right, well, before we get into these final stories and Bristol Dirt predictions, we do have to thank our other sponsor, Forney. I have the hat this week. I remember the hat.
Oh.
Woo! They sent me a hat. Forney Industries. Oh, my hair's all messed up. Look at me. All right. Forney offers a full line of welding and plasma cutting machines, metalworking accessories, and more for the do-it-yourselfers all the way to professional metalworkers. Forney, that's Forney.
Yes,
F-O-R-N-E-Y.
the real man. Yes, the man's man.
F-O-R-N-E-Y.
They've got everything you need for your next project. This doesn't really match my outfit, but I like it anyways. So you can check out Forney and shop all of their top-of-the-line products at forneyInd.com, forneyind.com, or at an authorized Forney dealer near you. Shout out to Forney Industries for sponsoring the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Now, next topic, Jarrett. What's on the docket? I don't have the criteria pulled up. Where'd it go? What's up next?
All right. Here we go. Roger Penske is calling the NASCAR. Well, we kind of talked about this a bit, but calling the NASCAR IndyCar doubleheader on a street course interesting. Is there any weight to these words that he's put down?
I mean, look, Roger Penske, because Roger Penske happens to own freaking IndyCar, the whole series. So, if he wants it to happen, I'm quite sure he could make that happen in the future. I could see that happening.
See, when it comes to the talk of street circuit racing, IndyCar already races a few street circuits a year. So I wonder if, it's expensive to set up a street course, especially a new layout that hasn't been done before. So I wonder if, say, IndyCar and NASCAR double up the same weekend or something like that, it becomes just a mega American racing event. If, the two series are kind of sharing some of those expensive burdens, I wonder if that would make a street race in Chicago or both race Long Beach or something. I wonder if that would be possible.
That would be a good idea. I didn't even really think of it, but yeah, that would make perfect sense.
Yeah, I wrote what I'm really hoping for I want to see like on a more regular these double headers in general start becoming more regular in American auto racing, because I think overall American auto racing, while popular in different pockets, is definitely more of a niche sport now than it's been in the last 20 years. And I think right now what would work is getting IndyCar, getting NASCAR, IMSA, all of these different forms of racing together and trying to just draw everybody in, because you open it up to so many people. I mean, IndyCar being with NASCAR in the same weekend when there's fans at the track would probably open up a ton of NASCAR fans to watching IndyCar, especially if the racing's really good, and vice versa. So yeah, I'm putting weight into it. I won't say it's going to happen as soon as 2022, but I wouldn't be surprised if before the new TV contract we're looking at street racing double headers in, maybe New York or Chicago or Nashville. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree with you on all that. Well, David Wilson from TRD, if we don't have anything else to say about that, next topic, David Wilson from TRD said that he will be disappointed if NASCAR reverts back to the old ways of 3 practice sessions a weekend plus qualifying. Says it would be unnecessary and expensive to bring back practice and qualifying.
Yeah.
So
I kind of agree with him to an extent. I understand saving money, but okay, instead of 3 practice sessions, maybe 1 to 2 per race. You can change it around week to week based on the track, but you have to have some sort of qualifying. That's the thing. You have to bring qualifying back. So I feel like you can cut back on those things, but to get rid of them entirely would make no sense to me.
Well, in fairness to David Wilson, he never did say he wants to get rid of them entirely, but he did sound very passionate about the fact that he wants significantly less. So he's not explicitly saying that he wants none, and I don't think he wants 0, but he clearly wants a lot less. I'm with you, Darian. I think 1 or 2 practice sessions per weekend per series plus qualifying. I'm happy with just 1 hour of practice and qualifying. I think that's good enough. You need the Cup guys at the track more than just one day. You need at least a 2-day show in that respect. Qualifying practice on Saturday, race on Sunday. That's fine. You need to incentivize people camping out the track over the course of an entire weekend or
and these young drivers need to further develop. Practice really helps out with that. I mean, obviously some of these younger guys, even Ryan Vargas was saying how hard it is to learn some of these tracks right on the spot too. I mean, iRacing and, simulator time can only do so much,
Well, and one thing that a lot of people aren't bringing up too, because it's not the most important thing, but it is something that leads into the season, is you get rid of qualifying, you really get rid of the Clash's purpose.
Yeah.
It's
what's the point of having the Clash? Yeah, it's over.
That's the thing. It's a race. Well, I mean, they've messed with it so much. It's not what it should be. But that's a major part of it is rewarding the fast qualifiers from the year before in their own race. They've taken a few unnecessary liberties with that recently. But that right there completely changes the game with that race. Kind of, there's so much that it changes. Both it's just in one area in each race long term. I mean, I personally think you get rid of practice in general, or you have a lot less practice. I think you're going to look at, in general, on average, a worse crop of drivers in Cup.
Hey, time out here. I hate to be coming back to weather. That one tornado warning is now gone. There is now a new tornado warning in southwestern Smith County, and literally right at the beginning of it, Nashville Super Speedway smack dab in the middle of this tornado warning.
right in it.
Ooh,
well, hopefully everyone's staying safe. Hopefully the track is
hopefully the track stays fine.
We'll keep you guys through the end of the show updated on if anything changes or any news comes out there.
Yeah.
I lost what I was going to say. What were we talking about? Oh, to practice and qualifying. I forgot what I was going to say. I had something.
I said there'd be a worse crop of drivers.
Yeah, and it's back to the whole, we need these younger guys to develop. They need, as much seat time and track time as possible. But to have no practice, that makes no sense.
Well, that's what I was saying, going off what you were saying there, Jared, is I agree. I think already you've just seen how important that hear Alexa's over here.
She's having trouble connecting to the internet.
I didn't even know that was plugged in. It didn't light up or anything. I forgot I even had that over there. It's buried under a bunch of crap. Anyway.
Shut up, Alexa.
Yeah,
Shut up,
spooky.
Alexa.
Did my internet go out or something? No, my internet's all good. Stream's fine. Anyway, I got distracted. What the fuck? What was I trying to talk about again?
I don't know. Qualifying.
Worst crop of drivers qualifying.
Yes. Geez, Louise. Yes. This isn't even worth it at this point. But yes, no, you're right. Like experience matters so much these days in NASCAR. And now you're ridding these young drivers of that valuable experience. That's going to put Ryan Vargas's. That's going to put. I mean, take anyone in trucks, even guys who've done really well this year, like Ty Gibbs. Imagine how much better he'd be, how much more he'd be learning if he had even half an hour of practice. Keep in mind, his average finish is 1.5 with 0 laps of practice. As far as I
also think it's crazy how NASCAR's trying to prop up Hailie Deegan in the Truck Series at the moment, but like
practice.
She needs more practice time. I mean, that would help.
I mean,
so
when you look at her, and I think this is the same thing with a lot of drivers, especially in the Xfinity Series, is they're garbage the first half of the race. They get their feet under them, and their lap times increase monumentally throughout the day. And I think that right there is your practice time. That hour it takes for these young drivers to get in a groove and start actually building up their lap times and getting up the charts, that is your practice right there. Or
basically the first two stages. Yeah, the first two stages are basically practice, I guess you could say.
I listen to Hailie Deegan's radio among a few others each week because I'm just really curious to hear how like TJ Majors and it's coaching her through it. And each week they all right, Hailie, like strap those belts tight. The deal first 2 stages, we're going to ride it through, try to get a feel for it, and then we'll go and get them in stage 3. That's their plan every week. Exactly like you said there, Jarrett.
Yeah. I mean, but look at Ty Gibbs in both races. It's throughout the day got better and better and better as it went. Like this isn't a mistake. It's that they're learning on the job, which it definitely for what they claim that these are the best stock car drivers in the world. I think they need at least enough time to get everything settled out and ready. I mean, you remember the lead weights fell out of Hamlin's car last year because
that was bad. That was bad.
That's what I'm saying is stupid mistakes happen when you don't have
practice
to check the boxes off.
Got nothing. You just like unload the car and NASCAR's like, don't touch it.
I think if we go down the route of having a lot less practice, I think we go down a route of having worse overall products. I think we go down a route of having drivers who are woefully unprepared, strapping into the car, and it's going to take over more and more of the field over time. Now, people will adapt to it, but I think if you're going to get rid of practice, you need to give back testing time. If you're going to. Let the teams choose on their own how much they're going to spend on development.
Would that be unlimited for the teams, or would you say NASCAR would probably put some sort of like cap on it? Like, you can only test like so much.
NASCAR would put a cap.
Yeah.
If it were up to me, it'd be unlimited because I think with the more ingenuity, the more you push the competition forward.
But this is only if they get rid of practice entirely, right?
But with that too, you look. I mean, we know where Toyota's head is with all this, so they'd probably be trying to cut costs with it, and that would in turn hurt the Toyota teams compared to the others. I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of NASCAR fans would be okay with that, but if we're looking in the spirit of competition, it's not really what we want to go down.
Well, with the next gen being a spec chassis, keep in mind, I don't think teams would learn as much or be able to apply as much of what they learned from an open test or from just a private test as they could have in the past because everyone's basically working with the same basic car. So I think honestly,
I'll argue to the contrary of that.
I think the more practice would still be better, but I don't know it would be as valuable.
I think with a spec car making everyone closer than ever, I think every little bit counts even more now. That's where
every little advantage.
There's less little bits that you can tinker on, I guess is what I'm getting at.
But, I don't know. Those little bits I think are going to make such a huge difference. That's why I think NASCAR, they need to. I mean, Steve Phelps basically was like, "Yeah, we're not going to do practice." Then Fox "You're doing practice next year," and then it turned into, "Okay, so we're doing lots of practice next year," and it's like we need to stick with that. We need to stick with that, Steve. That's where I'm sitting at.
That's why we're all reacting strongly because up to this point, you're right. NASCAR has said, "Oh yeah, we're going to bring back practice for most every event next year. It's new car, like all this stuff." But now this is the first time we've heard a powerful figure within the industry actively call for less practice, and now we're like, whoa, okay, let's just make sure. When you say less practice, what do you actually mean? Like, whoa, let's jump at that.
See, some of the people within the sport who are arguing, oh, no practice is good, fail to realize that, practice and qualifying sessions, even though, they can, run a bit up in terms of cost, from a fan's perspective, it's part of the weekends. It's part of the overall experience. My first time at a NASCAR event wasn't a race. It was at a regular practice session, qualifying day at the Speedway in Vegas, March 2004. So, for those who can't really go to a race, like practice and qualifying usually is probably the next best thing for some. You at least get to see the cup cars in every series practice or qualified that day,
Here's a big thing too is I know, again, anecdotal evidence here, but me personally, when I did go to Chicagoland with my family, the big thing that really sold everything was just racing all the time. There were cars on track all the time. Like you get up 10 a.m., they're on the track practicing, whether it's truck, Xfinity, Cup, ARCA, some of those weeks. and that's a huge selling point. That really is to you have constant action going on all day, because as much as practice and qualifying are boring as hell on TV for many people, it's really awesome in person. There is no sport that I can say is more different on TV than it is in person than NASCAR. And that's really where like my strong feelings get in on this is I was lucky enough at 9 years old, 8 years old to be in the track and having all of this going on and getting to take all of this in. I want fans like today, kids today, to have that option. Like, I think it's unfair to the young fans who are coming in, to their parents who probably are spending hundreds of dollars if they're going into the track or going to be at the track all weekend. Some of them, maybe even thousands of dollars they're spending, and they get 2 days and they get like one, 50-minute practice, 50 minutes of qualifying and their favorite cup driver. And maybe this might all get condensed depending on when the race starts to one day. That I think it's a cheat to the fans. There's so many areas of this where it's like we need to find out efficiency without costing what really sells our sport to new people coming in. I'm just passionate on this one.
I just think practice and qualifying are too valuable to the track selling tickets to fans, like you said. They're too valuable to the TV networks who sell advertisements for those broadcasts. It's just cutting practice and qualifying down significantly. That's a really risky move. That's just practice and qualifying, while many of us kind of overlook it, broadly speaking, on the average weekend, they hold a lot of value to a lot of important players that are very important to keeping the NASCAR industry afloat. So if it's about cutting costs, burn too much on tires, we're putting too many miles on our engines, we have to pay for an extra night of our crew guys at a hotel. Like, compared to what a lot of these teams, that's what really pissed me off about David Wilson's comment, is compared to what Toyota spends in general, we're talking about this much they'd be saving
a drop in the bucket.
I'm like, guys, you're the people who spent like $10 million a year on pit guns.
You guys advertise in every race, bro. Like, every race is a Toyota.
We have pit gun communism.
So I'm just like, what are y'all talking
There's
about?
got to be better ways to cut costs than cutting practice and qualifying. That I think we may not realize it now, but once it's gone, as it basically is gone now, we kind of are realizing now, I guess, is how valuable it really is and how much people miss it and how important it is.
Dude, I would have never thought that practice and qualifying would even be in consideration for it being, getting rid of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just always been a staple.
I don't think anything at this point could be off the table.
Very few races where we get the practice, and honestly, the way the weather is looking for Bristol, might not even get that one.
No practice ever again.
Well, that's just, I could tell he was trying to make his comments not come across as...
he was trying really hard.
He was trying not to be, to make them inflammatory. And I give him credit on that and that alone. The comments themselves still were toned down. You see, this is what the fans want, and you say that.
He's dialing it back because he's speaking on radio, So that's another reason I reacted strongly to it, is if that's what he's saying publicly, what's he saying behind closed doors? When you're a little more willing to speak your mind. I'm worried that it's behind closed doors. He's lobbying for only 10 races have practice or something crazy.
But we need to save money, guys. We need to save money. We need to save this much.
The thing about Speed Weeks or Speed Week when we were down there is, it was cool to have the racing each day, but that was it.
I missed the practice and all that stuff. That was always a part of it,
And there were some, but I mean, qualifying, for instance, they didn't let fans in. That was something that compared to 2020 was so alien about 2021 is that most of speed weeks we spent at the house we were staying at.
Yeah.
Like if you fraction it off with time, like 2020, I think there was a day we got there at like 9:30 a.m. and we were there until like 10 o'clock at night.
We were there a long time.
It's just it takes so much away from the experience. And a lot of people who might not be as big into the sport will be like, oh, it can't be that big. It's like, no, it is that big. A full week. I challenge anybody who is remotely interested in NASCAR to go to a full weekend, 3-4 day weekend, and not come back and be like, I'm hooked, I'm ready, I will watch every week. I challenge anyone to it.
Basically, if NASCAR gets rid of practice and qualifying, it'd be like McDonald's trying to run their business after getting rid of their fryers or something. It wouldn't work. That
would be like McDonald's saying, "Hey, we're gonna change our famous French fries to vegan fries." Basically,
it'd be like getting rid of the fries in general is what I'm saying, because you're getting rid of an important, something that, like, how many people go to McDonald's just to get French fries? Not many people, but once they're gone, you realize it hurts the whole product.
It's McDonald's getting rid of the French fries, being like, hey, you know what? We got the ice cream machine working finally.
It's broken.
There's a positive.
It's broken.
It's like, it only dispenses vanilla. It doesn't give any of the other 40 that are in there. But it's working.
They don't even give it to you on a cone. They just dump it in your hand.
And they put they just like, here's your sprinkles.
Yeah, you have more sprinkles on there than the actual ice cream. Basically.
Well, good stuff. I hope David he's not listening.
Don't get rid of practice, you idiots. Go ahead.
All right. Well, we finally made it to the glorious part of the show where we get to talk about the historic events going down this weekend. Bristol has been absolutely taken over by dirt. NASCAR, the Cup Series, will race on dirt for the first time since 1950? Or no, 1970. I'm sorry,
71.
50 years. 1970.
71.
I thought it was 70. 71, whatever it was. 50
years.
years ago. It's been a long time. It's going to be great. It's going to be historic. It's going to be something. It's going to be a spectacle. So where you guys can watch all these races, we'll start with the Cup race will be on Big Fox. It's scheduled for Sunday, March 28th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We love these 3 p.m. starts. The heat races will be Saturday, however, so you do get Cup Series action both Saturday and Sunday as it's scheduled right now. So Saturday, the Cup heat races begin at 6 p.m. Eastern Time on FS1. Now, also on Saturday, Truck Series has a full slate of action. Their Truck Series race is Saturday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so you're going to see night racing at Bristol Dirt for the Camping World Trucks. FS1, of course. The heat races will be just before the Cup heat races on Saturday. So the truck heat races are at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Cup heat races, again, are at 6. So basically from like middle of the day, Saturday, through Saturday night and into Sunday, nonstop racing. Saturday is going to be honestly the day I look most forward to. You got Cup heat races, truck heat races, and a truck race. Like Cup guys, sure, they're the big names, but I think the truck dudes with so many
the truck
drivers,
series this week is a Cup light, basically.
Hey,
so yeah, more Cup guys.
I just want to see if this might be Haley Deegan's best shot to sneak into the top 10 this year and make some noise for the first time. We'll see what happens.
And like the chat saying, there's practice tomorrow.
Yeah,
practice. Finally,
forgot to mention. Yeah, there's practice, of course.
I get to sit down on a Friday evening or afternoon, watch practice again. It's been forever.
Yep, I'll be working away watching practice.
Cup is on PRN, trucks are on MRN, but there's, for anyone listening on the radio, because I know that a lot of people do, there isn't any for the heats, at least as of now.
I'm sure,
which is odd.
I'm sure they'll play it somewhere.
Damn, they'll probably have to play it somewhere, right? Oh, they'll play it on like some public radio thing, probably not MRI. It'll be on like some public dial.
Yeah,
maybe you can get it on like the NASCAR app or something like that.
Dude, well, even in the NASCAR app, they sometimes play the wrong race during the Cup race. Yeah. During the Cup race, they were playing the broadcast of the Xfinity race on PR.
Happen? That's crazy.
What? I've never heard of that before. But. New all-time low, I guess, for the NASCAR app.
So what's the capacity expected to be for this race, Jarrett? They're expecting what, 30,000 roughly, or do they know? Do we know?
I think so. I think it's like I know it's limited capacity. There wasn't really many that said too awful much on what the capacity would be, but it's around 30%. I know that in general they're probably going to be a little higher up on that.
Dude, yeah, especially for the All-Star race, they said it was like something compatible. It did not look like that at all. And I think this is going to be the same thing.
I will say, just with the updates with the COVID stuff for people, I know a lot of people are wondering who are going to the race. fully vaxxed 11.6%, partial 21.9%. So that adds up to what 30, about a third. And COVID cases are in the state of Tennessee are at the lowest they've been since June of last year. So
nice. That's big. Weather's going to be interesting as well. That's going to be a hot button issue. So we jotted down the weather earlier this afternoon. So it may not be the most up-to-date forecast. But right now, Saturday, there's a 55% chance of rain in the afternoon. So that is suspect for sure. Because if it rains steadily or heavy at all on that dirt surface, it's going to need some serious work to be done before it can be raced upon.
Yeah.
For the Cup Series on Sunday, the chance of rain last we checked was at 70% chance. Again, the afternoon is – actually, I think in that case it was more midday was the worst time. I believe it clears up a little bit late afternoon. But, again, if it rains hard in the morning, the damage is done. I don't know how they come back from that. So weather is certainly questionable for sure. Now, the one plus about Bristol is it's such a small target. Think about it. The rain has to angle itself perfectly because it's such a small racetrack. Daytona, it could be raining in turn 1, but not in turn 3. Bristol, it's such a small target. Maybe we'll get lucky. The mountains can sometimes play a role and break up some of these clouds. So,
but believe me, Eric, it finds a way.
It seems to at the spring race.
It finds a way.
Yeah, always finds it.
I'm gonna see if there's an update on this. Some people in the chat are saying that they're now updating it to 90 to 100% chance of rain.
Oh no!
Hold on, I'll look on AccuWeather to start. We'll see where it's at this point.
Yeah.
I wonder if this, Fox pulled out all the stops because they wanted Bristol dirt. It was all a Fox play. They wanted Bristol dirt because they wanted good ratings. I wonder if this being rained out will finally be the nail in the coffin that will cause them to go back to noon starts. Not saying noon starts would actually help in this case. It may not.
But I didn't even think about that.
Their two biggest races of the season, Daytona 500 and Bristol dirt, both get rained out this year. I wonder if that will force Fox's hand. If one of those executives will change their minds.
I still kind of doubt it.
I don't know.
They've talked about it for Daytona. They've talked about it for Daytona. So there's
I don't see the reason why they're doing. What are they competing against for Daytona?
Exactly.
Now I found an updated one saying that chance of rain Saturday 80%, chance of rain Sunday 90%.
I don't know what happened at the beginning of this week. Like we kept saying they were giving rain for Sunday, but Saturday was looking great. We were thinking, yeah, we'll at least see something. Now we don't even know if we will. So
you know what it is? Maybe
Monday is looking clear now.
Maybe it's God
Monday
talk.
I have to work.
Maybe it's God talking. He's like, guys, Dirt Bristol is so unnecessary. I don't want it. Just run the regular configuration, basically.
Yeah, it's certainly not.
Or it's just God's way of saying, listen, I don't want NASCAR on dirt. You can run anything else on dirt, but no.
Yes, times have changed.
I just wonder, quite honestly, and none of us here are super familiar with dirt racing, but the preparation that goes into a track, if it pours, say Saturday night and through Sunday morning, if it just pours, can they race on Monday?
It pretty much makes it hard to do that because
they couldn't race on Monday. I don't think.
Would it be pushed to Tuesday at that point?
Guys, we're really. I mean, Easter racing is an option.
They just delay because
they'll have that dirt for a while. So
yeah. I mean, I personally don't like it. It goes against every tradition NASCAR's done. But let's be real. NASCAR has proven they don't care about.
They don't care.
Hey, they race on Mother's Day. They race on Father's Day.
Yeah.
If they decided to do that, like I would probably find a way to make it for Easter race. So.
Basketball plays on Christmas, football plays on Thanksgiving. If NASCAR wants to race on Easter, fans will swallow it. It won't be optimal. You won't get less people will show up for sure, but
because we don't have a race next weekend, do we?
Nope.
Yeah.
Not even Truck and Xfinity, if I'm not mistaken.
I honestly, if we got to do it, I think that's the way to go.
It's very likely.
I mean, it's either that or you do it at the same time as the Olympics. That's your options.
They're gonna have to get the dirt off by then, though, right? Because they got the concrete race. So no, that wouldn't be possible. I don't think.
Exactly.
Yeah, like Easter would be their last chance to do it. Or
NASCAR, you did this to yourselves, basically.
I'm gonna be on the road, unfortunately.
Like May would have been the prime time to do this, but May cuts it too close to get everything cleaned up in time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna be a disaster if it rains heavily during this weekend. Well, we'll just leave it at that. Let's move on to race picks because eventually they will get this race in. I have not known NASCAR to fully cancel a race in a long, long time. They didn't cancel a race last year. They didn't cancel any Cup races due to COVID last year. If they were able to get all races in last year, they're going to get this race in.
They'll get it in somehow,
eventually.
some way.
So it's that time of the show, that glorious time of the show. Before we get into our picks, however, though, Jarrett, you got the chance to sit in and actually ask Kyle Busch a question after his truck win. I got this clip. Did you ask him this question, or is this from somebody else?
I did. I wanted to know his perspective as a car owner or truck owner going into the Bristol dirt weekend, and like how he's viewing it as an owner.
Awesome. So here we have a clip taken firsthand from Jarrett after he asked Kyle Busch about Bristol dirt this weekend. So here's what Kyle Busch is expecting this weekend.
I don't know. I would imagine it's going to be similar to Eldora. You know, it's just a matter of track position, trying to race in the right spot at the right time, and seeing how the track progresses, whether it's single file or whether it it spreads out, widens out, guys can race, and where the line's going to be. I don't know. It's you always go to Eldora. Every time you go to Eldora with the trucks, you just count on coming back and cutting the body off and starting over. So you never take your neatest, nicest, cleanest piece to the dirt races. So hopefully we don't need any backup trucks, that we could just stay with our primaries, and that's how I look at it as an owner.
All right, so you heard what Kyle Busch thought, or at least is expecting this weekend a little bit. So we're going to jump right into race picks, beginning, I guess, with the Truck Series race. Correct? We'll start with trucks.
Yeah, I'll run down the points really quick, because
right.
We're starting to eliminate some certain ones. So I don't need to drink this week. There's a reason I'm drinking water, because I'm tied for the lead with the chat, and since I have a higher average finish when it comes to picking cup winners, I'm beating y'all. But we're tied. Darian's up to third. He's -6 points. Danny is right on his tail, -7. Eric has actually got a net gain over the past week. He's now only 13
bold
behind.
picks worked out. If only Truex had sealed the deal on Saturday, man, I'd be sitting good right now.
Dude, you were actually like really close to getting a sweep. Like,
yeah, he was really close.
Both Larson and Truex, almost, if they both won, boys,
he'd be right behind the chat and I, like by 2 points or so. Yeah. Well, the guests, which by the way, this week I DM'd Jake Baskinger, so he'll be the one picking for the guests. We have his picks ready. The guests are -22. Which is not a full weekend behind yet, but it ain't looking.
They're getting real close.
Drop it to the bag, yeah.
Yeah. They're starting parking a little bit here, so Jake needs to rally the troops here.
Yeah.
So who wants to go first? I can go first if you want.
Really quick, could we list off the Cup guys in the truck race? Because I'm just gonna pick a Cup guy. To be honest with you, Robin.
Let me pull up the lineup here. I'll tell you anyone.
Suarez, Briscoe, Bubba.
Wait, who's Suarez racing for?
He's driving for Young's Motorsports, I believe.
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick's driving. He's in DGR equipment. What other Cup guys? Larson.
Which Friesen is the chat picking?
Larson's in Nice. Newman's driving for, I forget what team he's driving for, just a random team. Newman's in it. I think that's it. Oh, Truex in the 51. I believe.
Okay.
That's it.
What Friesen are they picking in the chat?
Yeah,
they
gotta specify.
That's right. You guys specify which
one.
Friesen.
We know which one you are.
Yeah.
Yes, and we do have a fantasy league. Darian will shout it out after picks.
Yeah.
Can I just go first and do my truck pick?
Go ahead.
Kyle Larson.
Ooh. Yeah.
See, like, he's not the only dirt guy in there, though, but he's clearly the most talented.
He's in a decent truck. He's not in the best truck. I will say that. He's in a Nice truck, and I think that's like a 10th place truck.
He's talented, though.
I know.
Talent
I think the dirt's going to kind of even it out.
Yeah.
I know.
We've seen what he could do with a 20th place team, as we're proving now with the Chip Ganassi Racing 42 car. I will say, if there's anyone you want to bank off of for picking truck races, it's Darian, seeing how he's picked half of them correctly so far.
Oh, and by the way, I'm on a 3-week streak of race win picks. I've at least had one guy win out, so I'm on a pretty good streak.
He's got an Xfinity win.
Yeah, so pretty good.
So who are you going with, Darian?
I'd say I'll go with Stuart Friesen. Here. Come on. Don't let me down, Stewie. Don't let me down. Because his thing is his performance has been pretty sus lately. Like, he's not winning races anymore, but like he's not necessarily running terrible. It's just he's not as good. He's not running as good as he used to a couple of years ago. But I mean, this is dirt, and he obviously has a dirt background up in Canada, so Stuart Friesen.
Which a lot of that I think comes from the move to Toyota. It's no longer the same GMS equipment.
Yeah. I thought that would improve his team, but I guess not. So it's taking quite some time.
It's kind of risky to bank against anyone but Kyle Larson for this one, but I'm gonna go Kyle Larson.
All right, since Danny went with Kyle Larson, I've decided I can't make it 3 out of 4 for Kyle Larson, so we got to go with somebody else. I'm tempted to go with Harvick because I think he's the best overall driver in this race, or Truex, and they're both in really good trucks. One's in a DGR truck, the other's in KBM equipment. But at the same time, another driver who has won a NASCAR race on dirt, who's in basically KBM equipment. He's technically Hattori equipment. I'm tempted to go with Bubba Wallace. He just doesn't have any momentum at all right now.
He's won on dirt before, though. That's the thing.
I know.
But so is Chase Briscoe, and he's in the race.
Yeah, but he's in a worse truck. So's Newman's in a worse truck. All right, I'll go Bubba. Wallace. Oh, this is a terrible decision. We're doing it. We're going for it.
I was close to going that direction, but
we'll go. But I know the equipment doesn't matter as much at the Bristol dirt race like this. But hey, it can't hurt. It can't hurt to be in a top Toyota funded ride. So it looks good. Columbia colors look good.
Yeah.
Can you repeat to me? Is Chase Briscoe in the truck race?
Yes.
Yeah, he's in the 04 truck.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Tony or Roper's truck. Yeah.
Yes, that is the guest pick from Jake Baskinger.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So who
is the chat pick? I see Kevin LePage already.
I see Norm.
I saw a lot of Friesens, but that's probably
There's a lot of
changed.
Friesens and Larsons at the beginning.
Bubba.
I see a Wubba.
Norm Bending. Thank you, TNT Productions.
There's some Larson.
There's one
Larson.
Deegan. There's one Deegan one.
It's starting to shift Larson.
Yeah.
I think it's between him and Friesen, but I'd go Larson based on.
Well, y'all made your bed, Larson, for the Trek Series.
Pretty comfy bed, I think. So
to be fair, I think this could be a good chance for a Deegan to get a top 5, though.
I just
top 10.
realized
I wouldn't be shocked.
after the truck race, me, the chat, and Danny will all still be the same length apart. It's just a matter of whatever happens with y'all's picks.
I want to keep things spicy.
Hey, somebody put iCarly. What is he doing? We got a freaking iCarly meme now going. What have I done?
All right, big stuff. So next up, I guess we just jump straight into the Cup Series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But we got multiple picks for Cup. We've got to start with our who's gonna suck pick this week. We'll go in the same order, I guess. So Jarrett, who has an unusually bad week? I feel like there's a lot of guys to pick from this week with it such a.
You could pick anybody, I think, at this point, maybe.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I'm gonna get bit on this one, but the man himself has said he's not good on dirt, and he's had a struggling start for his standards. I'm gonna go Kevin Harvick.
Oh.
I'm gonna say Kyle Busch.
I'm gonna go Kevin Harvick. No, because Kyle Busch has been he's been working a lot more. Like it looks like, and racing a lot more on dirt.
Yeah,
I'm going Kevin Harvick, man. That feels weird to say.
See, this is a pretty unique weekend. You can actually like the true contenders from week to week. You can make a case for each of them sucking this weekend just because of all the unknowns with this circuit. So I'm going to go with Brad Keselowski here. He hasn't won yet this season, but I mean, he's still consistent. At the moment, he's still top 5 in the just the straight up point standings at the moment. So yeah, Brad Keselowski.
So I think there's a reason this guy is running the truck race. And I looked it up. It's been a long time since he ran any kind of dirt race. And I'm agreeing with Jarrett. It will be Kevin Harvick who sucks, and he's not gonna. He probably won't have any practice if the weather goes the way it's looking. And he didn't even want to do the iRacing event this week. So
no,
Harvick is definitely gonna be the one who's gonna suck this weekend.
Oh yeah, and Keselowski didn't do it either. So it's for a good reason, but still, he didn't do it.
I think the chat's agreeing with us too.
Yeah.
Those are good picks, though. I'll go with someone fun. I agree. Harvick's probably going to struggle. Just SHR has also been struggling. But I'm going to throw out Denny Hamlin's name. Denny Hamlin's finished in the top 5 in 5 of the 6 races. His worst finish this year is 11th. So the dude's been red hot. He's not leading many laps. He's not winning, but he's been red hot. I don't see that streak continuing this weekend. I think that streak gets broken. So there you have it. Let's move on next to our dark horse picks. I'm sorry. Do we need to guess? Yeah, in the chat.
Yeah, because the chat picked Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, Harvick. Yeah.
The guest picks Daniel Suarez.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's move on to dark horses. Again, much like really all these picks, I feel like this is a fun segment. So, Jarrett, who do you have as a surprise performer?
Everyone is talking about, and rightfully so, Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. But there's somebody that is really good on dirt, has shown he's good on dirt. Nobody respects him in general, it seems like, especially now that he's where he's at. Man, I got to go with Ricky Stenhouse. Like, no one is respecting this man. And I think that if he doesn't, and this is asking a lot, if he doesn't make a dumb move, this man will make them pay. And he's good already on normal Bristol. He's good on dirt. I think the two combined, he'll be great. So I'm going Ricky Stenhouse.
Jarrett, why do you keep taking my people? Because this is now 3 in a row where I got to.
You're copying me. I'm going first.
I was legitimately going to go with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. too.
So we already have 2 Stenhouse picks.
Well, just don't copy me on the win pick, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm scared I'm going to because I think I know who you're going to pick.
So my dark horse pick was a real nail biter here. I have 2 guys in mind. The first guy being Bubba Wallace, obviously with this history in the Truck Series. That team starting to gain a little bit of momentum the past couple of weeks. So I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But the guy I'm going to be picking as my dark horse is none other than Chase Briscoe, off to a terrible start for to begin his 2021 Rookie of the Year campaign. But if I'm not mistaken, I believe he does have a bit of a dirt background too. And
he won Eldora a couple of years ago.
Exactly. So, and he's also getting extra practice in the trucks. For a guy who has struggled as mightily as Chase Briscoe has, this could potentially be, a season-saving race. If he, somehow wins the thing, boom, his entire season's saved. Doesn't really matter how he performs, unless we have, more than 16 winners, in which that'll come into play. But Chase Briscoe, that'll be my dark horse pick.
That's not a bad pick, and it's funny, you almost picked Bubba as your dark horse. I'm picking him to win the truck race, but I think he'll be a surprise performer as well on Sunday. But no, I'm going with RCR driver Austin Dillon. He won, I believe, a couple of his preliminary Bristol Dirt Nationals races a week ago in his late model. So he's found victory lane at Bristol already in the last couple of weeks.
He won the very first truck race at Eldora too.
Yep, in 2013.
So I think Austin Dillon has a real shot at not just a top 5 or top 10, but maybe contending for the win if things fall his way.
I can see that. That's not a bad pick to look at.
Yep.
What y'all see in the chat? Because I can tell you right now, the guest pick is also Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Sweet deal. I'm seeing Timmy Hills now. I don't know.
I see Stenhouse. I see Stenhouse.
Oh
no, not Lightning McQueen. Get that fraud out of there. Not LaFraud.
Stenhouse, Christopher Bell. There's one for Bowman. A couple for Bowman. Stenhouse. I'm saying more Stenhouse, honestly.
I think it's Stenhouse. So I want to make this known right now before we go into win picks. Me, Danny, in the chat have the exact same picks in literally every single category.
Wow. Y'all are consistent.
I hate to ask this, but can I go before you, Jared, just because I'm scared?
You can.
I want this to happen. I want it to happen, man.
Right. Well,
okay, if you do happen to say who I'm thinking, I'm just gonna say it. So.
All right. Well, we've reached this dramatic conclusion of the show. Who is going to win? How's it said, Darian?
Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win
at the Bristol Dirt?
At Dirty Bristol. Dirty Bristol.
Dirty. Nice. Get it? Yeah.
What?
Kyle Larson.
Okay, we're not the same.
Oh,
yes!
Oh my goodness.
I'm the same as the chat, though.
So you're going with Larson.
Picking him.
Yeah. So Chad's picking Larson, and you're picking Larson, obviously. So I'm torn here. So the obvious choice is Larson here. History shows, but we also have some other pretty good, if not better, guys than Larson, perhaps. And one of those guys, Christopher Bell. So I know I want the parity trend to continue, and hopefully throughout the field it does so. But in terms of the winner of this race, Christopher Bell, I believe, will be our first repeat winner of 2021.
Before this guy became a NASCAR Cup Series superstar, this guy was a young fella racing dirt late models, and he's going to get some free chicken tenders when Tyler Reddick gets the win on Sunday.
I was hoping someone would mention Tyler Reddick tonight. I didn't think it would happen.
He's off to a horrible start too. Sophomore slump so far, but maybe he can get it turned around.
Well, Jarrett, Darian, Larson versus Bell has captured the nation's attention the last few years. They've, I believe, combined to win the last 5 Chili Bowl Nationals. This last winter, it was Larson holding off Bell, who, if I remember correctly, went flipping in the final stretch trying to stay with Larson. So Larson got the best of Bell a few months back. But in iRacing this week, Bell actually ran better and finished higher than Larson at Bristol Dirt, if you're going to take any stock out of that iRacing event. So I'm going with the Joe Gibbs driver, Christopher Bell, wins at Bristol Dirt this weekend.
But remember who finished second? Tyler Reddick.
Tyler Reddick finished second.
I think Reddick outran both Bell and Larson in the iRacing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the chat has chosen Larson. So there's 2 picks for Larson. There's now 2 picks for Bell. And there are 2 picks for Reddick because Reddick is the guest pick.
Wow.
May God have mercy on your soul, Danny, the way the guests have been picking.
Is it the big 3?
And so basically the only way that me and Jared are doing anything against each other this week is if one or the other wins. So
Yeah.
And if Kyle Larson wins both races, I get the sweep points too.
Yep.
And you're really riding that Larson line this week. That could be that could make or break
Riding
you.
it all the way down, man.
All right, sweet deal.
Wrapping like a roller coaster and ready to go.
You've heard all of our picks now. Before we wrap up the show, we do have a final few super chats. We appreciate your support to get through from Spartacus earlier. If we get a street race, how many street or road course races would be too many? Because I don't want to get to a point where they don't feel special anymore.
Road course or just street?
Or just street.
He's not specific. I guess either
Let's
or.
just do street.
I wouldn't want
I'd
to see more
say
than 1
2
or
is
2.
the most. Yeah, 2. Yeah,
One.
Jared
Do
says
1. Make it special.
Yeah, honestly, I could see, since they have so many other like really nicely like purpose-built road course facilities they go to. I'd agree. Maybe just 1 is the right call. But maybe it's not the same city every year. Maybe you do Chicago for a few years.
Rotate it.
Yeah, down
Change
the
it
stretch,
up.
Go somewhere else. Yeah. Jake, thank you for the $15 super chat. Y'all do great work. Love all your channels. What's your guys' favorite NASCAR podcast to listen to? Bring back Happy Hour and Single Car Qualifying. So he agrees with this. We need some practice qualifying. What other podcasts do you guys listen to? I'm wearing this hat. I was on a show. You guys can't read it very well. It's called Going In Tight, Coming Out Loose with Bart and Chris. They interviewed me recently for their show. They're a good couple of dudes. New show, up and coming. But what about you guys? What shows do y'all listen to?
Well, Dale Jr. Download, obviously, but got to shout out some of our Noah Talks NASCAR and A Lifetime in NASCAR.
I was about to say Noah Talks NASCAR and A Lifetime in NASCAR, obviously because they're with us. I've been listening to them naturally.
That's not just because
they're really good. Yeah, they're good though. Yeah, they're good.
Good stories, good perspectives. It's a wide range. That's what I love about them.
Did enjoy Sunday Money while they were around, so
yeah, I wish they wouldn't have broken up, but hey,
I've tried listening to the Stacking Pennies show, and it just feels too well produced. It doesn't quite feel the same as just Corey riffing about whatever, but it's still decent.
See, I'm not really fond of the other show that keeps what is it called, Door Bumper Clear. I don't know, it's just not really for me, I guess.
I don't hear much about that. I don't think I'm allowed to say some of those guys' tweets.
Michael Jensen says a 15-minute rookie practice, 45-minute open practice, 1-lap qualifying. Too many issues at the start of races that would have been seen in practice. I agree. There have been some issues.
Yeah,
y'all have even mentioned.
Yeah.
So I think we agree with that. Now I don't know about dividing practice up based on rookies and open. I think just give everyone free time.
No.
That's certainly an interesting idea.
It gets confusing.
Let everybody practice at once. Let them free.
Thank you, Barrett Carpenter. Eric, NASCAR almost copied your Out of the Groove title on Tuesday. I noticed that. I titled it.
They did?
Yeah.
When?
I titled my video something like Right or Wrong, like Noah Gragson versus Hemrick or something like that. And then NASCAR, I think it was one of their videos was literally titled Right or Wrong. Hemrick, Gragson. It was almost the same. It was insane. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it was the one that. What was that? The show with Kyle Petty.
I'm pretty sure mine got more views though. I hope it's still.
It did. Oh, it did. Yeah. Well, most of our videos do.
Yeah. Racing Fan for Life. Thank you for the $5. Didn't leave a message, but we appreciate the support. Cars and Coasters says jet dryers on dirt. It would turn into a little dust devil.
It turned into a freaking dust bowl, bro.
Yeah.
No.
Groovy Goose says, honk, Jarrett, that UFO looks lonely. Spin it. The Groovy
Yes.
Goose has
Spinning it.
spoken.
Touch it.
Yes. And I believe one final one we have here from Confirmation. Thank you. Do you all know how to drive a manual transmission vehicle?
Yeah.
No, I do not. I do not.
I
So
don't.
I don't, unfortunately.
Wait,
That was the worst thing in the world because I was a car salesman who couldn't do it. So if I ever
Yeah.
had someone trying to buy one, I couldn't really do it.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that can drive stick.
Look,
I've
I
never
tried.
had a chance.
When
I knew when I was 13 how to do that.
Dude, when
No
I
one showed me, so.
when I was trying to get my license, my stepdad was trying to show me a ton, but like
We
I
gotta
just
change
couldn't
that.
get it. I'm sorry, I just couldn't.
We
get
got to
it.
change that.
I'd be more than happy to learn. I've just
Yeah,
never had a chance.
I'd be
It's
fine.
so fun. You're always doing something. That's what's fun about it. Like, there's no way you can fall asleep while driving a stick.
See, that's my thing. I just like to. I don't even want to do anything when
You
I
like
drive.
to
Just
sleep?
drive.
You like to sleep
Yeah,
while
I
you're
don't. No, just
Well,
just like don't
we
even
all
touch
know.
anything.
We all know that when inevitably we do start driving in actual race cars, I will be the driver.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for those super chats. Really do appreciate the support. It means a lot that you guys would support the stream like that. With that being said, that's a wrap on this week's edition of the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Next week, we will be on Danny B Talks This channel. I believe we'll be back at our Wednesday night time slot because no more iRacing to get in our way. So Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be live over at Danny B. Danny B, are you pumped for that? Are you excited?
We are pumped, excited to have y'all back over on Danny B Talks.
Who's on? Is there someone on?
Hopefully.
well,
I got to
we're-
double check with him. I got to make sure it's okay, but I'll go and say it publicly. I'll put some pressure on him. Hopefully we'll have Noah Gregson on next week.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
got to double check and make sure that's nailed down. But that's the plan.
And real quick before we get out of here, I did want to mention this too. So I talked about this briefly a little bit earlier. If y'all follow me on Twitter, you've probably been seeing what I've been tweeting, retweeting if I see something. So there's currently, it's still ongoing. There's actually some tornado warnings that are active in Middle Tennessee right now. Unfortunately, one of these tornadoes happened to start up basically right on top of Nashville Super Speedway. And what I'm seeing, one guy pointed out to me the velocity values in their track, and that's like where you can pretty much tell where a tornado might have traveled. If what this PTM Billy put on Twitter is right, it would look like a tornado may have passed over where Nashville Super Speedway is. I have already reached out to one of my contacts over there. He will let me know in the morning. So stay tuned to my Twitter, and we'll find out if anything else comes out of Nashville Super Speedway and their status.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hope everyone in the Nashville or in just Tennessee and across the South where all the weather's bad, hope everyone's staying safe. Hope you're staying safe over there, Danny, because that's only, about an hour from where you're at. So.
I think I'm going to be okay where I'm at, but I'm worried about, got some friends over towards Murfreesboro area and, obviously worried about everyone in Tennessee. But I think I think for the most part, where I'm at, Hendersonville is going to be okay.
Yeah. So everyone just out there, pray, keep people in your prayers. Everyone stay safe if you're in the path. Some things are just more important than racing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, on that somber but note, that's gonna do it for the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Jarrett, do you have the Dale call this week? Have we retired that tradition already?
Oh no, we haven't.
Retired the Dale call.
Man. I've been sitting in the same position now for about
You just pull something?
3 hours.
Yeah, dude, I feel like I'm freaking pulling something
I
right now.
didn't pull anything. I woke up earlier this week and no joke, my ankle was swollen like I'd sprained it, and I'm like, what did I do?
Slept on it.
My goodness. All right.
Let's get it on.
Let her rip.
Uh-huh.
Ready?
Do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Still broken.
Never fails.
And it blew it out?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.